Yep, I think it's there working there, Derry.
All right.
I believe we are on the YouTube.
All right, let me refresh because I want to get on this page and oh, here we go. Yeah, I want to see what's going on in the chat. Oh, I gotta kill the sound.
Magamagab.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Who's in the chat? Nobody.
They'll be here soon. Don't
All
worry,
right.
we're not like that other show. We got viewers.
Yeah, we don't want to be like that other show.
Nobody.
That's bad. Oh, what's up, guys? Chiron, is that how you pronounce it? Chiron?
Hi,
Vincent
Chiron.
Longo, Future Squash.
Yeah, Vincent Longo is a cool dude. Future Squash is a part of the Almost Human Army. Good dude.
Nice. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing another one of these fan episodes where we just talk to you guys all night.
Chiron says, yes, I pronounced it right. Look at me. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
I can do things. Hey, I was running casinos when you were dating cheerleaders.
That's right. I was making my bones while you were going out with cheerleaders. I'm Mo Green.
You got the Mo Green special right in the eye.
Oh shit, we gotta introduce ourselves.
Yeah, I am the Dr. Fuck. I am the guy with the coattails, and this is
Mo Green, baby.
For some reason it doesn't capture the snap.
That is so weird.
But whatever.
So weird. And now I got 2 full beers to slam and enjoy. Brenda says, howdy.
That's my girlfriend, dude.
Hey. Yeah, I know her when she used to date the Smithereens guy. I met her way back then.
That's
Hi, Brenda.
I already had a bigger weenie than me. That's
No. Well, I heard his was longer, but you got the girth.
Yeah. I'm a beer can.
Yeah. Well, she said you're like a tuna can, like 2 inches, but man, you're like 6 around. It hurts. No butt sex for Brenda.
Well, I gotta say, man, she's the best girlfriend I've ever had.
Hey, that's not saying much.
No, but, I'm telling you, man. I
hear she's a pretty good girl.
I've been with her long enough to know that she ain't no pain in my ass. Let me tell you, I've gotten a lot of crap from ex-girlfriends who I wish them all well. I don't hold no grudge against them, but we had problems way before. I mean, this girl I've known for over a year, and there's just no problems, man.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and me. I wish death on all your ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, that's true.
I only approve of Brenda.
Especially the Guns N' Roses one. That wasn't even a fan of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, don't like her much. I bet you that bitch likes the new Guns N' Roses song. Perhaps, maybe she does. I don't know.
Oh, whatever.
Oh my God. Was that some fucking horrible crap or what?
Oh, that new Guns N' Roses?
Oh.
It sounds like a shitty song off Illusions, if you ask me. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, it's worse than Illusions. It's definitely, you can tell that's Chinese democracy era shit.
Look, I know it was recorded during the Chinese democracy era, but dude, that piano shit, that was all Use Your Illusion shit.
Oh,
and it just sounded like one of those shitty Use Your Illusion songs. So,
and you know what? I'm not trying to be misogynistic or anything. I love women. But goddamn, every time in that video I see the K-pop girl that they've got on the fucking keyboards now. Are they down to only 2 keyboard players now? I think they fired one guy. I think they're down to a 12-piece. I think they fired I forget the guy's name. But what the fuck do you need 2 keyboard players in Guns N' Roses for?
Is Dizzy still there?
Yeah. Dizzy's like the longest standing member of the band besides Axl Rose. That's how pathetic Guns N' Roses is now. What a fucking joke. And I watched the video, I saw the leak, they're like, hey, we're going to premiere this new song and everything. I'm like, I'll check it out. Hey, I hope it's good. I hope it's not shitty. And it's worse than I even thought it was going to be. And I'm so embarrassed for Guns N' Roses fans. You must really be, like Chuck Charles Manson. I bet you he's not posting that shit like he is Oasis videos. It's fucking embarrassing. I don't think I've ever seen a band that had as much promise as Guns N' Roses and just shit the fucking bed, dude. Just shit I mean, they had fucking Appetite, Lies, and then just shit the fucking bed. And I love you watch the video. It shows them playing all these like festivals, and it makes them look like they are the biggest band in the world. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they do all right live, but
Metallica's bigger.
Oh yeah, but if you see the way that video is edited and the way they make a point to show the crowd, what do you think that crowd? I guess they recently played that song in Pennsylvania, and I would love to see the crowd reaction, like a live video of that, so you can see half the crowd going to fucking take a piss or buy a beer when they play that shit. It's fucking horrible, and they're releasing another song in October, The General. I think it's about car insurance.
I think it's the B side of that song, because they're going to release it. They're going to release it as a single, and I think The General is the B side.
Oh God! But I tell you what, I watched your reaction video, and I was so proud for you to say, yes, they need Izzy Stradlin. This band is so fucking lost, and just shows you, Duff and Slash are there for a paycheck. I mean, I couldn't even tell Slash played on that song, and I think Slash is like, he is the guitar player is what Tommy Lee is to drums. Oh my God, if he went out and did a solo and didn't have that fucking hat on, nobody'd fucking know shit or say shit, But it doesn't even sound like Slash playing on the fucking song. It doesn't sound like Duff, I think Buckethead put a bucket on his head because he was ashamed of the solo he played on this horrible song. Perhaps. I don't know.
Well, look what Slash has been doing solo-wise. It's nothing to write home about. He needs
but it's better than the new Guns N' Roses shit. But yeah, that ain't saying much. But oh my God, Guns N' Roses, what a fucking... This is why rock is dead. This is why rock is dead, because of bands like Guns N' Roses can't get their shit together to write a new album. They're so embarrassed of what talent they have left that they won't put out a new album because they know there's nothing they can do at 60 something years old that's going to come anywhere close to Appetite. Let alone, I mean, they couldn't even come close to Illusions, and that's not a high bar. I could limbo under that motherfucker.
Yeah, I just don't care. They're coming my way.
Yeah,
I'm not going.
Yeah,
I'll go for free, but I'm not gonna pay to see that shit.
I'd go see Axl sing for AC/DC before I go see Guns N' Roses.
That was awesome. That was incredible. That was better than any Guns N' Roses show I've ever seen.
I believe it.
Axl's greatest thing is not Appetite for Destruction. It was him touring with AC/DC. To me, that was the greatest thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Hands down. Doing Riff Raff and Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Come on, man. Those songs bury Guns N' Roses in every which way but Sunday. No, even on Sunday.
Yeah, that's just terrible. Yahalabo,
Yoalmo, my buddy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Our buddy.
Of course. He says 6 albums and a 30-plus career is just a pity. Did they even have 6?
No. If you want to use your illusion, if you want to count that as 2, okay, fine. Then that would be 3 albums. I mean, 4 albums.
Yeah.
It's Appetite. Use your illusion. You can't count Spaghetti or the live album.
Yeah. And there's only one studio album that's good. I mean, shit. Joseph Staub says paid 30, and honestly, I thought it was a great show. Hey, if you're happy, great.
Oh no, and $30. Yeah, I'd pay.
Yeah.
I would totally pay 30. But that's not what they're charging down here because they're playing the Hard Rock Casino. They ain't playing no stadium down here. They're playing that little venue where Metallica played and the Stones played there. McCartney played there.
Yeah,
I saw the Who there because that was affordable. But we're talking about like something like $8,000 tickets. You know. And
Oh my God.
yeah, I'm serious. That's how much they're charging. You know, I don't know about Guns N' Roses, but I'm sure it's like more than 300 or 400, which is, you know, fucking $275 more than I'd pay.
Sinzak says, Ian, who's the dude in your background? What? It's Mo Green.
Well, you don't know Mo Green, Siznak?
You don't know the fucking Godfather? Jesus Christ. I mean, I know you're Polish, so I'm going to give you a pass, but goddamn, it's a Godfather. This question is from Kyron. He says this question is for Ralph, and that is, do you prefer the sweets off the record or level-headed? Also, I want to say thank you for getting me into this band.
No. They're so close, but I'm going to go with level-headed. But they're so close. But you know, I'm talking about my favorite, Give Us a Wink and Desolation Boulevard. That's the shit right there. You know, Ian turned me on to a killer Queen song. I mean, sweet song. Remember back in the day when we used to play songs at the end of our show, we played DJ?
Yeah.
You one time played a sweet song that I never heard of before. It was a B-side called If You Don't Do It, Someone Else Will.
That's a good song.
That song rips.
Yeah, I love that song.
Love that damn song, man. Check out that song if you haven't heard it, Chiron. Someone Else Will is the name of it. Right?
Yeah. No, that's a good track.
What a ripping track, man.
Sinzak says he's Polish and he's drunk. Give him a break. Of course, Sinzak always gets a break. And for those of you watching, well, I know y'all know who fucking Chris Sinzak is from the Great Decibel Geek podcast. We just got to set up the dates. We're going to do a cross show where Friday night, we're going to be on their Friday night live stream. And then part 2 is going to be on our Sunday night live stream. That shit, do not miss that. We got Sinkin Stanley here. Do you know he's friends with Eddie Trunk? Sinkin Stanley has been on Eddie Trunk.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Way to go, Tim Bream.
Is it awesome?
Yeah.
Good for him, dude. He likes it. So.
Yeah, because I can name drop now. I can say I know a guy that was on Eddie Trunk.
Hey, I know Jeff Beers.
Yeah. Future Squash. Did you guys hear KK Priest's new song? Rip the Whirlwind. I don't know if I've asked before.
No, the last song I heard was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was really good. So no, I haven't heard the new one yet.
Okay. Let's see. Vincent Longo. What would you guys say is the most disturbing movie non-horror? I've got one I think is amazing. And it sucks because in this day and age, nobody will touch it for like a re-release on Blu. I have the DVD. It's never been released on Blu-ray or anything, but it's a movie called Happiness, directed by Tom Schultz or some shit like that. He's the same guy that
the guy from Boston.
Yeah. And he's the guy that directed Welcome to the Doghouse, if you guys know that one. Kind of a disturbing movie too. But Happiness is like next level disturbing. Basically, it's a character piece, and one of the main characters is a child molester, yet it's a dark comedy. It's really fucked up, but it's a really good movie. But it's very disturbing, and you have to have a certain sense of humor in order to handle it. But yeah, unfortunately, in this day and age, you can't stream it. There's no Blu-ray. I think you can still buy the DVD, but I think it's like through the roof. But it's actually a very good movie. So I recommend Happiness if you can find it.
I can't think of any that's non-horror.
Yes, let's do the crossover in the next couple weeks.
Would you consider Marathon Man? That's not a horror movie, right?
No, that's a thriller. I would say
that would be.
Yeah.
Is
it safe?
Yeah, that whole thing was pretty disturbing.
Let's see. Second Stanley says thanks. Kyron says, and one last sweet question for Ralph, and that is, how did you find out that Brian Conley and Mick Tucker died?
I remember Mick Tucker was online. He died like in the 2000s. But Brian Connolly died on my birthday, and I read it in it might have been Metal Edge or something. I read it in there, and he, the singer of Sweet died February 9th. And this is like, pre-internet, where I got this magazine like a month or two after he died. But I do remember vividly that because he died on my birthday. And
Bob
Steve,
Marley,
I saw Steve,
Bob Marley died on my birthday. So there's that, or was killed, depending on, if you believe the CIA conspiracies. How's everybody doing in the chat room today? Have you guys subscribed to this channel? Have you hit the like button? I see 7 likes. I see 8 people are here and only 7 likes. I'll hit a like. Fuck it. Nothing wrong with self-promotion. Boy, and no new questions. So what else is going on, Ralph? No new questions. So what you got going on? Anything you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about man, look. And I know, he's like, oh, I'm such a bully. I mean, I can't believe a 53-year-old guy is talking about somebody bullying him. But look, I'm going to do it as nice as I can. You're obviously a compulsive liar. Ian is my witness. In Nashville, I never said anything to you. I never threw any jabs. He comes out apologizing. Ralph didn't treat me bad in Nashville. He threw some jabs, but maybe I took it all the wrong way. I never threw any jabs.
No.
You have everybody except for one person that is part of your show writing me, one of them apologizing to me. They're all sick of you. They all know that you're a compulsive liar. And whatever you say, it's a lie, man. And, Ian's my witness. Did I treat the guy bad in Nashville?
No, I did.
And that's another part I want to bring up. What he keeps bringing up is stuff from the past that doesn't matter anymore, but he needs to use that against me, where he keeps saying that Ralph banned anybody that came on my show back, 8 years ago? But what he refuses to say is that Ralph and Ian, it's like Ian gets a free pass on everything. Ian can do whatever the fuck he wants, but I get blamed for what Ian does. And whatever, dude. A good friend of mine unfriended him because, I have him blocked, and he's there on Facebook writing all this shit about me. So a good friend of mine in real life, a guy I hang out with, unfriended him. And then he freaked out that he unfriended him, said shit to Chuck Charles. Then the next thing you know, he writes me a text apologizing to me. It's the most fake shit you'll ever read, man. I'm sorry, you triggered me, blah, 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 this and that. And he's only doing it because this guy unfriended him. It had nothing to do with me. You're not sorry. And you're still going to believe what you want to believe. And I do believe Mark believes in his lies. It's obvious. And every time he gets caught up in one of his lies where he can't get out of it, he uses the whole, well, I was just joking. He never.
Oh, you mean like when he says America's podcast, when he knows damn well we're America's podcast? Yeah,
oh,
and Guatemala's, I might add.
Blame me, because Ian said it. Blame me for that. I could go on and on, but the bottom line is the guy's a compulsive liar. Everybody knows it. Everybody that does the show with him knows it. I've had and then there's people that he lathers their ass a lot that talk to me saying how much they can't stand him. A lot of people like, look, I don't want to start shit, but yeah, I just stay out of it. Because the guy is constant drama. You told me the other day he wrote some shit where some girl is like, you're just saying this shit to start drama.
Yeah, no, it's true. He knows he does that shit with the Hagar shit because he knows everybody hates Hagar. And that's what he really needs to worry about, is not worry about you. But I just saw a story out of California today, terrible. This lady owned a grocery store, and she had a pride flag outside her store. Guy walked in, shot her ass over having the pride flag. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, Mark already said online he ordered that Van Hagar remastered box set. If the mailman snoops through your shit, he could shoot you. I mean, you could get shot anywhere saying I like Sammy Hagar, because that's like a pride flag, only gayer. So, that's who you need to look out for. Look out for those Proud Boys that are going to shoot your ass because you like Sammy Hagar. Stop worrying about Ralph. Ralph's nicer to you than I am. But for some reason,
100 million times nicer. And you know what he said? This is great. He said, because Chuck Charles called him out and said, dude, Ian knocks on you way more than Ralph does. And you know what his answer was? Yeah, but me and Ian talk afterwards. Like you have a powwow afterwards. Like after you're done bashing him, he'll call you or whatever. And then he says, you do stuff with a wink. It's like, bitch, whatever, dude.
It's not a wink, it's a nervous twitch, Yeah.
Like his nervous laugh. You notice he laughs at everything. It's impossible to watch him, but whatever.
I don't know. I swear, if Hitler had my charisma, he would be on Hollywood Squares, because I say all kinds of fucked up shit, and somehow everybody forgives me and loves me.
You get away with it. And I ban people to going on his show. Not Ian, just Ralph. And by the way, right now, Mark is saying, you saw what Ralph said about the postman going through my box set?
All right, let's
stop. I don't want to talk about this idiot anymore. I really don't. So stop talking about me, because if you say one syllable about me, I'm going to come right back and talk about you. Just shut up already. Shut up. I know you love drama. I know you love starting shit. And I don't know why the fuck you're afraid of Ian, to tell you the truth. But he is petrified of you. Ian and I talk afterward. Yeah. Hey, Mark, I didn't mean all those mean things I said about you, but Ralph did. Which
you know what?
Close. I don't even close to bashing him like you do.
I don't want to get political, but we all know who he voted for, and you are Cuban, so I think that has something to do with it. Even though I'm Black Irish.
You heard that? Ralph said I'm racist because Ralph's Cuban. Not
Scribble says, sup, motherfuckers.
Scribble's the one that was on his show saying, hey, what's up with you and Ralph? And he told Scribble, Ralph treated me like crap in Nashville. I never even threw a little jab, I didn't make a little fun of him. I didn't say not one thing.
Well, one thing that particularly, and then we'll stop this shit. But one thing I want to say is, maybe this is why he's upset. We went out of his way. We went out of our way, I should say, to invite him and make him be a part of Keelfest. Maybe that's why he's mad, But didn't we? We went over to, remember, he was going to stay home. We're like, fuck that shit, man. Come out. Let's party. Let's do something.
I didn't. You're the one that said that to him, not me. But he said it's my fault he went to Keelfest. But it was you that told him to go.
Right. But my thing is, we did everything to make him feel included. And I busted his balls relentlessly. I do it with a fucking wink, but I'm much meaner to him than you are. So whatever. Let's get back to the questions here. Joseph Staub, he's got the interesting questions. He wants to know, what do you guys think of the Alan Parsons Project? That's one band I don't think I've ever heard you guys talk about. I am a fan of certain songs. I think they make shitty albums, but good singles. Alan Parsons, I think he's a hell of an engineer, but and I've got his discography, but it's pretty piss poor aside from the singles, but the albums, ain't that good. What do you think?
I think I own the first one. I forgot the name of it though.
Oh, I'm sure you don't own the first one. You probably own the first one that fucking sold.
Probably.
Because
it was kind of like a hand-me-down thing. It was not something I went out and bought. It's not something I played much, but I remember playing it and not disliking it. And it had some hits on there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're probably thinking of one of the early 80s ones.
yeah, it was in the 80s. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because they started in the 70s. Yeah, I like some songs, but overall, yeah, not a good band. Future Squash. Jesus Christ. Load or reload. Rubbing my cock on a cheese grater would be my pick there.
I'll go with Load because there's 2 songs I like off that.
Oh
Load, there's
God.
1 song I like off of Reload, so I guess I'll give it a Load.
Travis Peretta. Which band from the 70s do you guys find extremely underrated, and a band from the 70s you consider overrated? You answer that. I'm gonna go Pete.
All right. Overrated. Of the 70s? Damn. 70s were so badass. Oh, Eagles. Not an Eagles fan. Underrated from the 70s? Oh, there's a lot. Blood Rock. They're underrated. Sir Lord Baltimore, underrated. Captain Beyond, underrated. There's a lot of 70s bands. Ram Jam, that second album, Portrait of a Ram, extremely underrated album. Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush, very underrated band. Oh, I can keep going, man. There's a lot from the 70s. But there's not a lot from the 70s is overrated because the 70s was the greatest decade ever. And those that disagree with you, I am sorry that your parents suck. That's what I got to think. That's what I think about that. So now we'll see what Ian thinks.
All right. Who is your underrated and overrated?
Overrated Eagles. I couldn't think of anybody else. Underrated, I named a few. Sir Lord Baltimore, Captain Beyond, Ram Jam, Blood Rock.
Right on.
Dust. Dust is another killer band.
All right. Well, I thought about it while I held my cock in my hand. Overrated Queen. I'm sorry. These guys are fucking overrated. They got some talent, yes. They got some good songs, yes. Would anybody give a shit if Wayne's World never ever came out? I don't know. I remember I liked Queen's Greatest Hits. I had that as a child, but I really started going back into Queen after Wayne's World. It probably has to do with my age. But my best friend is like, I just don't get into this shit. I'm like, oh, no, it's Queen. You got to love it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know about all this shit. And the older I get, the more I'm like, he was right. I was wrong. I was jumping on a trend. It was trendy to love Queen and shit. They got some good songs, but goddamn, they got a lot of crap too. A lot of crap throughout their career. Even in the 70s, they got some shit. And they got some great fucking songs. Don't get me wrong, they do have some great fucking songs, but they got a lot of shit too. They're overrated. And now it's probably trendy because if you hate Queen, you're a fucking homophobe or I don't know what the fuck, but
I'm a homophobe and I love Queen.
True. You're a closet queen. As far as underrated, I'm gonna go with a band that while some people might not think they're overrated, I think they're extremely overrated because most people just know a couple fucking songs. That's Blue Oyster Cult.
You mean
there's a lot?
You mean underrated?
Yeah, underrated. I mean, yeah, underrated. I think they're extremely underrated because even people who say they like them, they're like, oh yeah, I love Don't Fear the Reaper and Godzilla and
Hungry Boy.
Yeah, nobody likes Hungry Boys except for Will Carroll. But what's Burning for You? But I got tickets. I'm gonna go see them.
Awesome.
Yes, in October, and the catalyst for this is my wife, because my wife is she's been listening. She loves the fucking show, and she listens to how we talk about Blue Oyster Cult. She says, I need to get more into them, and I've been putting on more Blue Oyster Cult when we're in the car and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, we got to go. The only thing I'm concerned about is, we're going to a casino, and so I'm hoping we get a legit show, because I've had bad experience at casinos where they're very short shows, because the casinos want you out there gambling, not sitting there, listening to fucking Harvester of Eyes. But I'm excited to go, man, and I love it. And what sucks, my son was out of state working on business, and I told her when I picked him up from the airport, I was like, yeah, me and your mom going to Blue Oyster Cult. I didn't think he'd want to go because there's so little of my music that he likes. He's like, oh fuck, I would have loved to go on. Well, tough shit, because we got good seats. Shit's sold out, but me and the missus, we can have a good time at Blue Oyster Cult. So but yeah, I think they're extremely underrated, because even the people that know them, I don't think their real discography and their real career. So check them out. All right. Oh, Hannah Montana Hales is here. Saw Alice Cooper blow away Def Leppard and Motley Crue last week. Best band I've ever seen live. I don't doubt that one bit, sir.
But we all saw that coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. I don't know if Hannah Montana's ever seen Alice Cooper before, but both of us saw Alice. I've seen them. We've both seen them multiple times, but we saw them open up for Motley Crue, and Alice blew them off the fucking stage. And Jesus Christ, how long ago was that now? Like fucking 10 years ago, Alice can still bring it live. He knows what he's doing when he plays live. It's a good set list. He's got the energy. He's got a great band behind him. And you're comparing him to Motley Crue and Def Leppard, which are pathetic now. Pathetic. But I'm glad, you can tell your grandkids you saw the mighty Alice Cooper. That's fucking awesome. Scribble says, I'm sorry, y'all. I asked Mark about why y'all beefing, and it ignited this shit. Oh, Scribble, it ain't your fault. Don't worry about it. Oh, JP Bourdon. Ever plan on doing a review on any Sweet album if you haven't done one? So
no, we're not reviewing no records. After we're done with these fan episodes, we're only going to review like albums that are new. Like if like Judas Priest's new album, stuff like that. But no, it'll be a rare occasion we'll go back and review anything. And no, I don't think so. But if you like donate to my YouTube channel, I'll review it there.
Yeah, you never know. Let's see. Future Squash. What's the greatest album cover artwork ever? God, there's so many great ones. I mean, off the top of my head, I would go with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is one that sticks out to me as just incredible artwork. And Maiden Somewhere in Time, I think is an album cover you can get lost in.
Killers.
Yeah, killer. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great ones, but don't be fooled by album covers, because that's how I bought Pretty Boy Floyd, and boy did I learn my lesson. I'm glad it was with my grandfather's money and not my own.
Wait. Pretty Boy Floyd, that was a horrible album cover with a laser shooting out of their eyes and shit. Was that the one?
Dude, when it came out, I was like fucking 16. It looked like a fucking Kiss album cover. I was like, ooh, this looks cool, and I bought it. And then I was like, ooh, this, even as a teenager, was like, ooh, this sucks. And I liked a lot of shitty shit when I was a teenager. And even I knew it was like, this is
Did I ever tell you I had a little beef with the singer of Pretty Boy Floyd?
No.
Yeah, somebody donated for me to do a Suck versus Suck. Pretty Boy Floyd against I don't know what crap. And of course, I went off on it. Well, he took it and he posted it on his page like, oh, look at this guy. And people were leaving comments. And it was funny because it was like, I did this review right when I shaved my head. I mean, my hair was coming in a bit.
Right.
And people were leaving he left a comment going, yeah, look at his hairstyle going bald. It looked like I was going bald, but look at my hair, man. Look at now it's all in, but when it was coming in, little stubbles. It looked kind of balding up here.
He was hair shaming you.
Yeah, that was his excuse on like, Well, I'm glad. He said something to the effect of, I'm glad my fans don't look like this guy. And I'm like, it was like, God, I've had long hair for like 30 years or 40 years.
Yeah.
Just shave my head. It's like, look at this bald idiot. Why I oughta.
He's friends with Mark.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark likes that crap.
Let's see.
And then, one more thing I want to say, and I'll end this whole Mark thing.
Okay.
Notice this is how much he loves drama. Mark can avoid all the drama in his life if he would just go to the Sammy Hagar group, the 9-Armed Def Leppard group, and associate himself with Oingo Boingo group, associate himself with people that like that. No, he'd rather associate himself with people that like Hagar, people that hate 9-Armed Def Leppard. He's surrounded by people that hate his shit, and he loves to argue about it. It's like he loves this argument shit. He loves a lot of crap I hate. He hates a lot of crap I like. Well, it's like whatever. We don't give a fuck. He does. He just.
If you want to be a cool kid, go on the Sammy Hagar page and start talking about Dave. Oh, I got to tell you this too. I got kicked off a Van Halen page recently.
Oh, yeah, what'd you do?
Let's see, what was it? I don't know. Basically said, Sammy sucks. I went off on the Sammy sucks thing, and all these people came at me like, "Oh, you better wait till the moderator sees this because that's in the rules. You can't say nothing about Dave or Sammy. You're gonna get kicked out of this group." And I was like, "Ooh,
please don't."
Oh, I'm 49 and a half. You think I give a fuck if I get kicked out of a goddamn Facebook group page because I speak the fucking truth? The fuck out of here. You got dick on your breath, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. And they're like, you're going to get kicked out. I give a fucking
I want
shit.
to give a plug to a Facebook group that's really cool. It's called Sammy Hagar Sucks. Are you part of
Yeah, of course I am.
a cool group, man.
I think I'm a moderator. I don't know why, but I think I'm a moderator. Like that, like they send me approval when a new guy wants to join. I'm like, yeah, anybody wants to join, go ahead.
Yeah, like this guy wrote me the other day saying, dude, I just love your Sammy Hagar hate. And so, I go, you think I'm bad? Yeah, check out the calls from my podcast. that guy wishes death on people, man.
Oh, I do. And not pretend, like real death. Like
yeah, he really does beat it.
Yeah. But somehow but I say it with a wink.
Yeah, I say it with a and then we powwow later. When I bash you, we powwow later, and I know everything's okay. But Ralph is a bad guy.
Yeah, no, seriously. If every Sammy Hagar fan dropped dead, there'd be no global warming. There'd be world peace. They're all fucking retards, and I don't mean to put down retards because retards have more sense than a Sammy Hagar fan.
Did you hear that? Called me a retard for liking Sammy Hagar.
No. I say you're less than retarded. Vincent Longo, Trading Places or Ghostbusters? I'm going Trading Places.
I don't like Ghostbusters. I don't.
Really?
Trading Places I love. I'm telling you, I love full of 84. When did Ghostbusters come out? After
84.
All right. Well, it's still, I'm not a fan of it. It would have been better with Belushi, how Dan Aykroyd intended the movie to be.
I do love them both, but Trading Places.
I think the only good thing I like about Ghostbusters, and it is awesome, is Rick Moranis. He was awesome. He stole the movie for me. I only like the scenes with him.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Vieira says, if you've run out of questions, please talk about how much you hate Living Color. That must be towards Ralph. I don't hate Living Color.
Yeah, she just saw Living Color with Extreme. And I don't get the whole Living Color thing, dude. I really don't, man. He's extremely sloppy. He's a sloppy guitar player. What the fuck does he do? Is it because he's black that people?
Have you ever listened to any of their albums outside the first one?
Well, no. I only the first one with Middleman.
Okay, right. No, I really think the second album, Stained, I think you might like. Much heavier album, much more metal album, really good. And I saw Living Color open up for the Stones on the Steel Wheels tour, and they got booed off stage. I enjoyed their set, but I was 15. I'd fucking probably enjoy anything back then. But I saw a live show in New Orleans that had the bass player and drummer from Living Color playing with some like legendary New Orleans musicians, and it was just fucking mind-blowing, amazing. It was like Pink Floyd meets Zeppelin. It was my first show in New Orleans. It was a guitar player from the Meters, and I forget who else was with him. I mean, it was a really good show. Yeah, I dig them. I don't hate them because they're black, but I don't think Rel hates them because they're black. I think he just hates Cult of Personality.
Yeah, I love the Bad Brains. I thought they were fucking rock. I love
Sinzax here. He says, behind on the stream, I hit pause because everyone seemed to get along great in Nashville, and it was awesome. Everyone should take note, have a shot, have a laugh. Life is too short. There you go. The peacemaker, peacemaker.
I appreciate that, Sinzax. Next time I go to New Orleans, Nashville, we're all gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Hey, but he's right. Who the fuck has a bad time
Look,
man,
I'm not the one that started this bullshit.
Oh no, I know, but what's funny?
If anybody's got to get along, it's that asshole. That keeps running around saying lies about me. It's like, dude, I don't do shit, and I get blamed for all this crap. Fuck that guy, man. I'm not gonna sit here and stay quiet. So fuck that Kumbaya bullshit. Cisnak, you need to say that to Matt. You know who Matt is? You know who Matt is, Leon? It's the acronym of the guy's name. Matt.
I'll tell you.
Question my drink.
Okay. All you need to know about Rockin' Pod is when we met Rockin' Ron Runyon for the first time. Rockin' Ron Runyon wasn't too hot on us. And we met him, and I basically made fun of him being a pedophile. And we ended up becoming great fucking friends. Rockin' Pod is like the best fucking experience, the best fun of everybody getting together, getting drunk, listening to fucking metal, having fun. God, if you don't have fun at Rockin' Pod, that's on you. Fucking morons. Travis Peretta, you guys are the world's podcast. Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. Why limit ourselves to America and Guatemala? We're going global with this shit. We do. We have I love doing that shit. I love going on Podbean, and I can see where motherfuckers download shit from. And I often wonder, especially if it's like a non-English speaking country, like, is it GIs over there? Or do these, are these just some cool motherfuckers in other countries? I don't give a fuck. But what's awesome is people all over the fucking world listen to our fucking show. Now we got to get them on the fucking Facebook page, because this is shit's the future. So subscribe, hit subscribe, smash that like button, as the kids like to say. What do we got? 21 likes? Jesus fuck. Only 21 likes? Yeah.
It'll keep growing. Don't you worry.
Devin,
they got to be more active, Ian. But I know, dude. I was on the great Brian Davis.
Oh yeah, damn good movie memories. Yeah. And
I was telling him, I was explaining to him that it's out of Ian's control. Ian has this thing where he's now in Seattle. He's trying to get a job. He has to take care of his grandkids. His cat just got sick. It's one thing after the other, that it hurts the show, but it's not something you can't control. You got life.
Yeah.
Where I'm just fiddling with my anus.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere, but I've had a lot of shit going on, but it ain't no cry for me, Argentina. But I thought this week was going to be a fan review, but we just lost. I had to put down our cat this week, that I've had for almost 12 years, and also I just I was studying for my state license. I just got a state license, so I had to devote a lot of time to prepping for that, but now I got it. My son was gone, so I was babysitting my grandchildren a lot more. Now he's back, so I don't have to do that. So the show's going to get back going. Whenever it slows down, it's always my fault. If it wasn't my fucking computer shit going on.
Unless you're Matt, then it's my fault.
Yeah. You're right. I can say all this shit right now, and somebody's going to go online and blame you.
Yeah. Some idiot.
But no, I've got a lot of time freed up. So the show's going to get back to going. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be better than ever. Don't fucking worry. Devin Palladino says, do you guys like the band Lizzie Borden?
Yes.
Love what I've heard. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything, but the ones that I've listened to, what's that? Visualize. Fucking masterpiece. And what's the other one we reviewed? I think the one with the chick on the front, the
Master of Disguise.
No.
Oh, Love the Pieces.
Yeah, I love that one. I tried listening to Master of Disguise. I didn't get into that one so much.
Yeah, that one's a little not one of his best.
Yeah, but and then the new shit's kind of like new metalish. It's not really traditional metal, but I ain't got nothing against them. I'm sure if I research some more, I'd probably get into them more. But what I've heard, you want to hear a good fucking like traditional metal, like American metal album, Visualize, I think is fucking amazing. And I believe we did that with Aaron Camaro, I believe.
Yes, we did.
From the Great Decibel Geek podcast.
Yeah, I love that early stuff, the Metal Blade stuff. Rods of Iron, American.
Yeah.
That live VHS I bought back in the 80s, that Murderous Roadshow. Great shit, man. I love me some Lizzie Borden, and I was lucky enough to see him once.
Nice.
This was like in 2002, 2003. He opened for Yngwie. And
how was the show? Was it good or was it
amazing?
Like...
He was so.
No, I mean like the stage show. Was it neat or was it
had the stage show and props and all that crazy shit. And then Yngwie came out and it was so loud I couldn't make out what they were playing. So we left and we went to the tour bus and hung out with Lizzie Borden. He came out, super nice guy, and what an experience. Yeah, I only got to see Lizzie Borden once, but he played for a good hour and he played all the songs I wanted to hear. Rod of Iron, American Metal, Me Against the World, Visualize. He played a lot of good shit.
All right. Well, Purple Floyd, 1728 says 70s competes with the 80s as the best decade. I would say they are my two favorites. But the older I get, I kind of side with Ralph more and more about the 70s being the winner. I am a child of the 80s. I love 80s movies. I love 80s music. I'm a big fan of 80s pop music. Metal kind of took in the late 80s. Metal started getting worse. Well, I guess 80s pop started getting worse in the late 80s too. Yeah, I guess the 70s just fucking rules. I was born in the 70s.
Were the best. I love everything up to 84. After 84, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff. Don't get me wrong. Rain and Blood, a lot of the good thrash stuff. And, there was a lot of stuff I liked in the later 80s. And then recently, because of Ian, I've become a huge fan of the Smithereens. Weren't they 80s?
Yes.
Later 80s, right?
Yes, but I mean, you can tell where their heart's at, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but man, 80s. I gotta tell you, man, I might have go as far to say that is the greatest band of the later 80s.
Yeah. They're great. No, I love that you've got into them and appreciate them.
Dude, I'm fanatical now about them. I got their vinyls, I got all the early. Yeah. I've been, I downloaded all the. The albums they got, and they're more Beatles than Cheap Trick.
Yeah, they kind of are. Yeah,
I think they are. They got that hook, the Beatles hook down pat,
his voice and the songwriting is just phenomenal.
Unbelievable, man.
Yahalamo says Queen overrated. LOL. Yeah, they are overrated.
Alamos, that's his favorite band.
Oh.
And
well, hey, I got a lot of gay friends. I ain't judging,
Me and Yoalamo are total fags.
Yeah.
Because I love Queen too. I'm with you, Yoalamo. I like all that crap that Ian hates. That 70s stuff. Yeah, there's some Queen I don't like. I don't like Hot Space. I don't like some songs off the Works and the Miracle. But man, that 70s stuff. Queen 2 is a masterpiece. And so is the first Queen album. And I love News of the World, Sheer Heart Attack, and Day at the Races. I wasn't that big on Day at the Races. Let me tell you, that was an album that had grow on me. Night at the Opera I loved. And the Queen is very special because Killer Queen was one of the first 45s I ever bought in my life with Benny and the Jets and Little Willie by the Sweet. They're a very special band to me. And
I think the worst Queen that I've heard of the 70s is Jazz. Even though there's some songs on Jazz that I like.
I love Jazz, but it would be my least favorite of all this Queen stuff.
Oh, shit. I can't believe I forgot to bring this because I saw the story and I wanted to bring it up. This is so horrible. And again, as everybody knows, I'm the liberal guy on the show. Do you know they are now removing Fat Bottom Girls from Queen's Greatest Hits?
I just did a news report on it that'll be up on Tuesday on my channel.
Jesus Christ. How are we going backwards in time? You know what I mean? It's like 2023 and we're going backwards as far as censorship and all this shit. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
I was 13 when I owned Jazz on 8-track. And I love Fat Bottom Girls and Bicycle Race and Dead on Time. Don't Stop Me Now. All that stuff. I loved as a little kid. I wasn't thinking of fat girls. You know what I mean?
But what is it? Is it the fucking, because they're fucking chubby bitches? Are we supposed to call them, plump bottom theys?
No.
I don't know what the fuck's offended people.
Ian, we're supposed to cancel it. We're supposed to take it up.
Get the fuck out.
That's more offensive, if you ask me.
That's the thing. I'm like the fucking liberal guy, but I find all this fucking like cancel culture shit just as stupid and just as offensive as I find like Proud Boys and shit like that. Like anybody that's that fucking radical, one way or the other, it's like, get the fuck over it, you fucking losers.
Yeah,
oh my God.
When I posted I was sick.
Yeah.
One person wrote, "I shit you not."
Oh, did they say, because you got the fucking vaccine?
Yep.
You got the jab.
You got
the jab. That's
Dude,
why
I didn't get a vaccine. I got 4 of them. I went back the second time, got it, and then I got 2 more afterwards. And I got a common cold. And it just, it was a brutal cold, but it went away after 3-4 days because of the jab. And I'm not the liberal here.
Yeah, people are so fucking stupid. Hey, there's part of me that says, yeah, all Hagar fans should be put to death. But then there's another part of me like, hey, if y'all want to get married, fucking get married. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna need that health insurance when you get the fucking AIDS.
Well, I'm against gay people getting married because I don't think they should suffer like the stupid hetero people.
Yeah, true. Hannah Montana, what's the most recent vinyl and CD purchases you guys have made?
Well, it's not something. The Smithereens, their first album, about that. My friend Jackson Rowney got me that new Jack Panther, The Howling. That's like my favorite album of this year so far. I bought the new Noel Gallagher album, which I enjoy a lot. And I think that's about it. And I bought Journey Through Time, that with Neil Raleigh and Neil Sean and all that shit. That's amazing. It brought a DVD. It's like a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. I highly recommend that.
I honestly can't remember the last thing I bought. which is unfortunate. I don't buy CDs anymore. Because what the fuck do I play them on? I mean, I guess I could play them like on my 4K player or something like that. But it's like I don't listen to CDs in my car. I download. I'm a fucking pirate. Sorry, full disclosure. If I do buy anything, I buy vinyl. But I've slowed down on my vinyl because I need an amp for my like the current setup I have in my living room. I need an amp to put my turntable through. And because it sounds really weak going through like the Bluetooth and everything. So until I get an amp, I just haven't been buying as much vinyl. If I go to a show, you know, I support a band, you know, I'll buy their vinyl if they have it, but I'm a piece of shit, you know. But you know what? I still think I'm better than somebody who pays for Spotify. But I don't. That's me just justifying.
Oh, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, dude. Stream these nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yahalamo says 100% agree with BOC being underrated. Hardly anyone my age is into him. Yeah, it's a shame, you know. And it's a shame, you know, there's kind of like two categories. Either you've never heard of them, or like, oh, I like Don't Fear the Reaper, but yeah, check out the other shit. Kyron says, how would have Van Halen turned out if Glenn Hughes joined? It would have sucked.
Yeah, there can be nobody. I mean, nobody in that band but David Lee Roth, or it'll suck. I don't care if it's Ronnie James Dio or Robin Zander or Elvis Presley. I don't give a fuck who you get. It'll suck without Dave.
Because only David Lee Roth knew how to squeeze Eddie Van Halen's balls to get balls out of his music.
Where when Sammy Hagar joined, Sammy Hagar was like, "Go ahead, Eddie, do whatever you want."
Yeah. And I'll do some fucking horrible shit on top of it. Yeah, there's certain bands you can't replace. You know, it'd be like anybody else in the Stones. You cannot replace Mick Jagger. You could replace Mick Jagger with Roger Daltrey, who's technically a better singer. It would not be the Stones. It would not be, you need that mixture of what you have with them. And as much as there's Dave solo stuff that I love, and there's a lot of Dave solo stuff I'm like, yeah, that's not up to par. Those two were the perfect two to be together. They create something that you take either one of them apart and it suffers. I love Eat 'Em and Smile. I love Eat 'Em and Smile. It's not a pimple on the ass of real Van Halen. But I still, it's better than Van Hagar, I'll give you that. But it's still not fucking Van Halen. Nobody could have joined Van Halen. And the best thing Eddie could have done is change the fucking name. Call it a different band, do something else, and I think it would have been easier to digest. But you can't put that, the Van Halen name on there and have it be anything close to what Dave and Eddie had together. They ruled that fucking band. And, Ralph put a post up, and I know, people think it's like, oh, he's just trying to piss people off or whatever, but he's right. Dave was the most important person in Van Halen. Because look at Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitar players of all fucking time. But look what happened to that band when Dave left. So who's more important? You could have the greatest guitar player in the world, but when that guy's gone, it fucks up the whole fucking dichotomy of the band. Nobody could join Van Halen. I'd rather heard Patti Smythe though than fucking Sammy Hagar. I'll tell you that. Scribble says, I saw Blue Oyster Cult and I was literally able to have a conversation with a homie without even raising my voice. What are you saying there? That they didn't play loud or that there was nobody there?
Why the fuck would you talk during Blue Oyster Cult?
Yeah, that's the first problem. The amazing Brenda Vieira. Put a ring on it, god damn it, Ralph. BOC puts on a really good show these days. I've seen them 3 times last year, but not in a casino. Awesome. Your girl loves BOC enough to see it 3 times?
Yeah, she saw Blue Oyster Cult a few months ago. Yeah.
Ooh, I like me some Brenda.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey,
I thought
hey,
I thought she was just a pretty face, but she got
hey,
good
hey,
taste too.
hey, keep it in your pants, Ian.
Hey, I'm married, but I can look.
You're married but not buried.
Let's see. Kyron says, do any of you guys like Tina Turner? She passed away 3 months ago.
No,
Love,
I was never
yeah.
a fan. I liked her in the Tommy movie though.
Yeah.
Gypsy the African Queen.
Yeah, love Tina Turner. Huge fan. Mad respect. Sorry she's gone, but at least she's not suffering. She was very sick, so
Yeah,
I'm glad she's dead.
Yeah, because Ike Turner went to hell and she's safe in heaven. Ike Turner beat her ass up there.
Yeah, but in Ike's defense, shut up. Pink Floyd, 1728. What's your thought on NASCAR? NASCAR is the dumbest shit in the fucking world. Ooh, I can make a left. Ooh, I can make a left. It is, Jesus Christ, it is the dumbest shit. It is the dumbest shit in the fucking world. And if you like NASCAR, Purple Floyd, 1728, I question your sanity. You must be from the South.
I don't really look into NASCAR because I'm not a sports fan, but I gotta tell you,
it's not a sport. It's not a fucking sport.
Well, whatever. I gotta tell you, I went a couple days ago to a Marlins game, and I really enjoyed it. The Marlins played the Houston Astros, right? And check this out. The game starts, first guy on base, first guy up from Houston Astros, bam, home run. Next guy, bam, home run. Next dude, bam, made it to second base. Person after that, bam, home run. It was like fucking 5 home runs in the first inning. That was badass. I enjoyed that. And you know, it's a Marlins game at the Marlins Stadium, and I'm there rooting for the Astros.
All right. Spanks a lot. Molly Hatchet had some great album covers.
I spank a lot to early Molly Hatchet.
Yes, Molly Hatchet had better album covers than they had albums.
I love early Molly Hatchet.
No, I like a few songs here and there.
I like.
But I mean, they're right there with 38 Special as a retarded cousin of Leonard Skinner. They want to be it so bad, but they're not. Marshall McMarshallson says, hello from Australia, at work, sadly. No, that's not sadly. You're getting paid to watch this shit instead of doing whatever the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Good day, mate.
It's not like it's from Boston.
Yeah, cranky. That's awesome, mate.
Right on. Keep working.
Travis Britt, I'm a huge Blue Oyster Cult fan. I agree with you, Ian, about them being underrated. Awesome. I love being agreed with.
That's our buddy, Travis, man.
Yeah, Travis is awesome.
He's a big fan of our show.
Let's see here. Kyron, what artist do you think has a worse fan base, Sammy Hagar or Justin Bieber? Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar by far.
Yeah, because Justin Bieber fans are like 14. I'm going to give them a pass. Their nuts haven't even dropped yet.
And plus, they have superior taste in music than Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. Show me a Sammy Hagar fan that's under 55. That ought to be his new song. I have no fans under 55. And straight. JP Borden, that is Jean Paul, for those of you who don't know. This one's for Ian. What's your take on Budgie? Yeah, I took a lot of shit for saying their name wrong. Love them. That is some great 70s hard rock, proto metal fucking shit. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are more well versed than me in this great band, but everything I've heard, I have fucking dug the fuck out of. Really good shit. So yeah, they get 2 big thumbs up from me. Kyron says, do you think Sammy Hagar's Heavy Metal is one of the worst heavy metal songs of all time?
It's not a metal song.
Yeah, it's not a metal song. But I will say, as far as Sammy Hagar goes, it's probably one of his better ones. You know, it still sucks, but you know, it's better than, you know, Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy shit. Jimmy James Schwartz. Ian, will you be rushing the stage at BOC? No, those days have come and gone. I got christened Wadzilla after getting thrown out of a BOC show. And yeah, I was in my 20s. I'm almost 50 now. So I'm going to sit in my seat and enjoy the tunes. You know, and then especially after I talked to the great Buck Dharma. You know, I didn't bring it up, you know. I can't remember if I did or I did. No, I don't think I did bring it up that I got thrown out of his show. He probably would have hung up on me. Future Squash, Halloween or Man of War? What say you, Ralph?
Man of War, man, all the way. I love me some Halloween though. That last Halloween album is pure garbage though. But I love me some Halloween, especially the Walls of Jericho. But man, I mean, I like later Man of War, but dude, the shit with Ross the Boss is the shit, man. Hail and Kill. You know, there's nothing better than sitting down and drinking a nice cold glass of the blood of my enemy. Hail and Kill. Man,
or jacking off to underage porn.
That's not fair. Number one, he wasn't an original member. He's a guy that replaced a guitar player that replaced Ross the Boss. So, you know.
Yeah, but he saved Man of War.
No, he didn't.
What was his name? Pedophile?
I forgot.
Yeah, pedophile.
Piece of shit. Logan something.
Yeah. I would have, I'm very limited on both of their discographies, but I would have to say with what I've heard, I got to go Man of War. Man of War. Hannah Montana says, I never hear y'all talk about Steve Miller Band. Are y'all fans of his music? I love Steve Miller.
I'm not a big fan, but you know, I like some of the hits, and probably my favorite Steve Miller song is probably, I would think,
Abracadabra.
yeah, that fucking song. I love that fucking song.
I
remember being a little kid, getting driven to school, hearing Fly Like an Eagle or The Joker. I mean, he was extremely popular. A lot of those, Keep on Rocking Me, Baby, all these songs were huge. But I never purchased a Steve Miller album. It's not that I dislike them. It's kind of like, yeah, it's good, but you know.
Yeah, no, I like Steve Miller, and I love how he fought back against the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and called him out.
That was even better than Abracadabra.
Yeah. So no, I think Steve Miller is awesome. Be Cooler, Be Podcast Out. Hey, Ian and Ralph. Hey, brother, how you doing? Vincent Longo, favorite line from the Blues Brothers. Woo, that's a tough one.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
Oh my God, there's so many. This is a glue, strong stuff.
We're late. Remember when the building, when Carrie Fisher blew up the building, they were asleep and they get out of the rubble? Yeah. We're late.
You got my cheese whiz, boy. I'm just gonna go in there and sign the check. Oh my God, I mean the Blues Brothers, there's so many fucking, they broke up.
That's the greatest comedy ever made in my
he broke my watch. I'll never forget, 6 years old, man. It was a big deal. I grew up 50 minutes south of Chicago, and me, my dad, and my grandfather, we all went to we drove about a half hour to like it's called Chicago Heights, and we went to Lincoln Mall to go see the Blues Brothers, and it was a big deal, and I'll never forget it. Amazing comedy. Amazing. It was so good that I have refused to watch Blues Brothers 2000. I won't do never it. Seen it. Yeah, won't do it. Love you, John Belushi. Fucking amazing. Great movie. And John Landis when he had talent. All right. Do you guys watch the original Hawaii Five-0 with Jack Lord?
I did it when I was a kid. You know, I had the 45.
Dun, 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 dun,
I had that
dun.
45 when I was
Dun,
little.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I used to watch it as a kid.
I, I, yeah, Jack Lord.
Jack Lord.
Yeah. I've never seen one episode. I mean, I know of the show, but it was before my time, and I never went back and checked it out. Be Cooler Be podcast out. Smithereens went against everything that was slick in the 80s. They were definitely a breath of fresh air. I met Pat D'Annunzio, and he couldn't have been a cooler dude. It's a shame he's gone. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
You got to meet, and like I said, I mentioned to Ralph before. I thought it was incredible what they did in their later career before he died, where they would play fans' houses. And God, I just wish at that time I would have had like enough friends that were cool, that would, chip in so we could have had that, Smithereens, amazing band.
I really dropped the ball on that shit. Because I remember I was watching, and it's a good song too, Girl Like You.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I remember this. I didn't really remember the other songs. But my favorite is Wall of Sleep. That's my favorite.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I knew him from being in class of Newcomb High, but I didn't become a fan until I heard Girl Like You, and I bought that album. But In a Room Without a View. Oh, my God. Is that a great song?
Oh, my God. That's a great song.
Love
that song. Probably my second favorite.
Oh, the fucking harmonies on that and the lyric and yeah, I mean, he wrote a lot of like boohoo love songs, but God damn, the way he sang them and the way he did the lyrics, I think were so genius because it wasn't like he wasn't trying to be too clever. He wasn't trying to, like use the dictionary. He sang basic songs about basic, love or love lost. But man, those harmonies and the way they were written, it's so like so much Beatle worship, but yet they were their own thing, and I respect that. Just an amazing band. Jean-Paul Baudon wants to know which Fulci movie: Zombie, The Beyond, or House by the Cemetery. I don't know if Ralph is familiar with Italian horror.
I'm aware of all three.
Okay. I would go, this might be a hot take, but I'm going House by the Cemetery.
I'm going with Zombie, which I saw in the theater when it was new.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a real cheap theater. It wasn't premiered in a regular theater.
Yeah.
There used to be this theater on Palm Avenue in Hialeah where they would show like older movies. Like I remember seeing The Mechanic there with Charles Bronson when it was ready, like 3 years old or so. But I remember The Zombie was premiered there, and I went to go see it only on the strength of the poster. The worms coming out of the guy's eye. I was like, I want to see this movie.
Zombie biting the shark.
Yeah. The one part that gets me about that movie is that piece of wood that came out.
Oh, well, that's Fulci. Somebody's gonna get something in the fucking eye in a Fulci movie.
But man, that's man, she could have just said, well, get this out of the way.
Yeah. No, Fulci's always gonna have somebody getting something in the fucking eye. Yeah. Kyron says that's ridiculous on Fat Bottom Girls not being on Greatest Hits record. Yeah, totally agree. Jean-Paul Baudon says, yet they still play Fat Bottom Girls on classic radio, just like Brown Sugar. Yeah, that both of those songs are banned is just fucking ridiculous.
Didn't Rolling Stones stop playing Brown Sugar?
Yeah, they did, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I would take it. I would call the song "The N-Word Sugar." You know what I'm saying? Just to things from everybody. We're gonna change the name of Brown Sugar to N-Word Sugar, just to piss everybody off.
I tell you, these sensitive fuckers these days. I don't know how they leave the house. Like if everything offends you, how do you leave the house? And I do see both sides. Like there's nothing wrong with like moving forward, you know? Here's the thing I struggle with. I have a lot of gay friends, but I grew up in an era where if you're making fun of something, you call it gay. And I still catch myself like, making jokes like that, especially with Hagar fans. I mean, look at, your backdrop is a perfect example. But I have no hatred in my body for gay people, but it's just, I don't know. I'm just programmed that way. If you're making fun of somebody, you call it gay, but yet I find somebody that puts Hagar music in their ears much more offensive than a man who puts a cock in his mouth. And I do have one gay friend who's very sensitive to this shit, and he gets mad if you say, like, if you call somebody a cocksucker, he gets mad. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm not talking about you. I'm not judging you. It's just, I'm just saying cocksucker, but I don't know. It's
I have no gay friends because I'm a total homophobe.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Maybe. I don't know. Ian said that. See, let's get stuff I say and Ian get blamed for it.
Yeah.
Ian's a homophobe.
Dude, I have so many gay friends, lesbian friends, a good friend that's a drag queen. I don't give a fuck what anybody does. But yet, it is a thing. Like if I'm going to make fun of something, like, hey, you gay fuck, I don't know. But
I have no friends.
This shit's going too far. I don't know. It's going too far. Kyron Colston says, do you guys, or did any of you guys see Michael Jackson's victory tour with the Jacksons? No, I was supposed to.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I was supposed to see it in the unholiest of all unholy places in Chicago. This shithole called Comiskey Park, where the piece of shit White Sox play. Fuck the White Sox, Cubs all the way. But I did not make it to the tour, but I wanted to go so bad. Even though, what a shitty album. What a shitty fucking album. Oh.
It was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did some Thriller stuff, Beat It.
Oh, yeah.
And he did, oh man, what's the name of that song off Thriller? Why? Human Nature.
Tell me that it's human nature.
God, damn, that song rules.
Do we do it this way? Love that shit. No, unfortunately, I never got to see it. Purple Floyd says, at least change the name. I mean, Rouse slightly does that with Vangina. Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been the thing to do. Warner Brothers pressured them to change the name because they thought it was going to be temporary, because they really believed that whatever they did without Dave was going to bomb, and call it something else, and then Van Halen would get back together. Unfortunately, a lot of you figs like that shit, and for whatever reason 5150 sold more than fucking Fair Warning, which is retarded, but that was the 80s.
Looking back, man, it's like nobody cares. Seriously. I'll give you an example.
And if you look at it, I mean, let's be realistic. It's all about the brand name. Their biggest selling album is and always will be 5150. And then it went down.
Well, we're talking about Van Hagar, not Van Halen. Van Halen.
Yeah.
Most of those albums sold more.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they had a little bit of peak in sales with Fuck, sold more than OU 812, but none of them came close to what they sold with 5150. But a lot of people, like, back in that day, there was no illegal downloading. You bought it and you gave it a chance, like I did. I've said a million times. I bought every Van Halen, Van Hagar album up to the live album, and I had an aneurysm when I heard that Right Here, Right Now live. And I'm just like, no, this is never gonna work. This is fucking terrible. And you know, I just fucking snapped. But
This whole thing now they're releasing the Vangina box set. How many times have they released a Roth one? Over and over again. Now they're finally going to do the Vangina one. How much you want to make a bet, Ian? How much you want to make a bet? It's going to be only pressing.
It's not going to do shit compared to it, you know. And the funny thing is, you look at like the rating for 1984, and it's got a diamond rating. A diamond rating means 10 million copies in the US sold. It has actually sold 22 million copies, but they don't do anything after diamond. You know, so it's just like, come on. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, there's some idiots on the fucking, you see a lot of posts lately on Facebook about this getting reissued, but what's it actually going to sell? And compared to real Van Halen, nothing. Nothing.
And they're never gonna re-release it. It's one of those things where it's gonna be, but you know what's coming out. You know, everybody's talking about that, but the first Van Halen album's coming out, and one of those things, I watched this girl, a plug for her, Melinda Murphy, on YouTube. She's a big vinyl collector, and there's this certain thing that they release on vinyl that's, I don't know, like
you know, like a half speed.
I think it's a half speed kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's they're releasing Van Halen 1 on that.
Yeah, and that makes sense because I mean that in '84, you know, those two albums combined sold like triple over the entire Van Hagar discography.
Yeah,
and it's what are people still caring about years after the fact? You know, there's caught up in the moment. You know, there's a lot of bands that sold a lot of records a long time ago, but nobody cares about them now. And that's what Van Hagar is. Nobody cares about it now. And some shit stands the test of time. You know, what's, you know, look at even Michael Jackson. Look at, you know, Bad sold a lot of copies when it came out. Nothing like Thriller. What are people still buying today? They're still going to buy new copies of Thriller, but it's, you know, they're not buying Bad again. You know, I don't know, fucking figs. I mean that in the best possible way. I've said this a million times. You know, people who suck a dick that tastes like shit still have better taste than Sammy Hagar fans. I hope nobody's offended. Hannah Montana says Eat 'em and Smile to me was the real follow-up to 1984. I agree.
Of course.
Jimmy James Schwartz says Van Halen without Roth is like Motorhead without Lemmy. Totally agree. Of
course.
McSorley fan 33. I went to a NASCAR race once and had more teeth than the entire row of people in front of me. I believe it. He also goes on to say Ralph and Ian rule. Well, hey, you got that right. You said Ralph
rule too. What's his name?
McSorley fan 33.
Yeah.
And McSorley says Eric Jordan Rmcp in the chat. I don't know if he's saying he's Eric Jordan.
Oh yes, yes, that is
okay.
Because every time he leaves a comment on my YouTube, he always says Eric Jordan here, but it's a different.
Kyron says, do you guys think Sammy Hagar looks like the half version brother of Ronald McDonald? That's an insult to Ronald McDonald, actually. Yeah. Hannah Montana says, favorite female guitarist. Mine is Nina Strauss. She's badass when I saw Alice Cooper. I would have to say I love Nina Strauss. I think she is incredible. If I had to pick a favorite female guitarist, though, it would be Ann Wilson.
I'm going to go with Nina Strauss on the strength of the last time I saw her. It was unbelievable. That girl can play.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So I'm taking nothing away from her, but I would go with Ann Wilson. Future
Wilson.
Squash. What band had?
Hey,
What?
by the way, it's Nancy Wilson.
Oh, Nancy Wilson.
And
Yep.
Ann Wilson's the singer.
Okay, my bad. I get those whores mixed up. And by whores I mean great gals.
By whores, he means fags.
Yeah. What band had the worst look? I would go with Van Hagar.
Yeah. And also Queensryche, Rage for Order. Great album, but holy mackerel. What were they thinking on that shit?
The Goof Jackson says, Man of War for what, Ian? I don't know what he means by that. I mean, I liked him more than Halloween. McSorley fan 33, which is I guess is Eric RMCP. Favorite John Carpenter movie? The Thing, hands down.
Yeah, I'd have to go with The Thing.
Yeah, and I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, but yeah, The Thing, it's not even close. The Goof Jackson says howdy. Goof Jackson says Ralph and Ian. Hey, you got that right. Scribble says the first Limp Bizkit versus the first Slipknot. I know you all hate both. Just wanted to throw a troll question out there. I'm going to go first Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, me too. Easily first Limp Bizkit. Slipknot is the worst band I've ever heard in my life. I was listening to Slipknot doing that track by track, and I was missing Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. No, full disclosure, I saw Limp Bizkit on one of the fucking Ozfests.
I saw the one where he came out of the toilet in Ozfest.
Yes, that's what we were probably at the same one because we were both in Florida at the same time. And I was like, hey, it's all right. I remember they played some Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, institutionalized.
Yeah,
I was horrified. But I'll tell you this: while I was watching Limp Bizkit, the whole place was going ape shit, and that's when I realized I was like, "Yep, that's it.
Rock is dead."
My rock is dead. This is not. I do not I know Scribble's a big fan and that, and that's cool, dude. You can like all that rappy stuff. Good for you, bro. You did a great rap remix of one of my songs.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just if Scribble, if you were born when I was born, you'd understand how I just can't get into this Limp Bizkit. And there was nothing. I mean, Ian liked it live. There was nothing I liked about it live. I thought it sucked hard, but Slipknot worse. And I saw Slipknot too. On the
so did I. I would say Limp Bizkit. I actually, after that show, I went and bought $3 bill, y'all. And I remember it's like, well, it's different from what I know. I don't like it as much as what I grew up on. But I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is where shit's going. And and then I remember hearing Nookie and I was like, oh shit, this sucks. But yeah, I would take Limp Bizkit over Slipknot. True story. Although, I would take Iowa over anything that that Limp Bizkit put out. But the first one, not good. Purple Floyd, worst lyric. I want to put my log in your fireplace, or I want to sink my teeth into that nice piece of real estate.
Definitely I'd give it to Sammy Hagar, but I think the worst Sammy Hagar lyric is the one where straight up to her lunch pail.
Well, isn't one of those Gene Simmons and the other one Sammy Hagar?
Yeah. It's Gene Simmons is burnt.
Yeah.
I don't remember that song, the Hagar song, that the lyrics from, or the other one where it's straight up to lunch pail. I mean, Jesus Christ, the worst lyrics. I saw the Sammy Hagar thing that he said that he refused to do the Raw songs because they were so stupid, the lyrics. He said that.
Yeah. Gene's better than Hagar, definitely.
Definitely.
Here's a very good question by Scribble. How much does nostalgia play in your guys' view of music and movies? Are there any bands or movies, shows that you think you wouldn't like without the nostalgia factor? Well, I agree 1,000% percent with that. The one thing I will say is I have the honesty, I think, to admit what is nostalgia and what stands the test of time. There is a lot of cock rock, even movies and TV shows that I know for a fact that I love because of the nostalgia stuff. And then there's also stuff that I'm like, this trans, what the fuck's the word I'm looking for? But there's stuff I know that is timeless. And there's stuff that I know, like I just like this because of the great memories, I do think that the older I get, the more the more I scrutinize new shit, because it doesn't get that pass of I remember, when I was in 5th grade and I heard this shit. So if something comes out now, it's really got to impress me. It's really got to be good for me to say, yes, this stands the test of time. But I mean, there is plenty of 80s shit, I remember one time I went back and binge watched the A-Team, and I was like, this shit is fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. The writing, the acting, all this shit. It's fucking terrible. But I still loved it because there was some 80s nostalgia, and then there's shit that stands the test of time. It plays heavy into factor. But what I love now is it helps me. I don't have to love everything like I did back then. There was a lot of shit I just loved because of the time. And now it's just like, yeah, you really gotta impress me now, because at 50 years old, I don't have time to like force myself to like something. It either grabs me or it doesn't. But yeah, nostalgia is a factor, but I'm honest about it.
I like Kiss Me Phantom of the Park purely on nostalgic reasons. And it's funny because I hated it when I saw it the first time as a little kid. Then they gave it on CBS in 1985, a late movie. And I remember I went to a wedding that night. My parents dragged me to a wedding, and I set my VCR for Kiss Me Phantom. Because, I'm a Kiss fan. I wanted, I knew the movie sucked, but I wanted it anyway. And then when I recorded it on VHS and then I watched it, I couldn't stop watching it. And I still can't stand the European version. It has to be the 70s version.
Oh yeah, with the horrible solo album music and shit.
No, that's the European version. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the American version with the funky music, that horrible 70s funk. Love it. Love that shit.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything else because seriously, my time in nostalgia was in the 70s. There wasn't a whole lot of crap back then that I liked. Everything that came out back then, I loved. And the things that I hated back then, I love now, with the exception of the Village People. I can never get into Village People, but I got into ABBA.
My first record.
Bee Gees, all that stuff I didn't like as a little kid. I ended up liking later. And now I'm really into Steely Dan. And that's 70s.
Love it. I'm so happy
I never hated Steely Dan, but I never really looked into it till recently because of Jacob Smith. And I love, and people get offended by this, and maybe you'll get offended by it too, Ian. And maybe I'm talking out of my ass because I'm not a true Steely Dan fan that I have, like you, that have a history. I have like a new history with it. And I know what I'm about to say will probably piss you off.
All right, say it quick. I got to piss.
They're the greatest yacht rock band ever.
Yeah, that doesn't offend me.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question.
Ask a question, go take a piss.
Yeah. McSorley fan 33. Do you guys think the excessive love and almost blind love for Maiden is due to Maiden being a gateway band that gets a lot of people into metal music? And I'll be right back.
I don't want to sound like one of these people that are making fun or talking down to people that are into Maiden now. Because I could enjoy some. Look, that last album, I like some of those long songs, Death of the Celts. But as a whole, Iron Maiden, to me, is the most overrated metal band ever, I think. I kind of like if I was to add all the songs I liked after Power Slave, I can make one kick-ass album, maybe even two kick-ass albums. But I can't get into Iron Maiden anymore as far as a whole. Like, listen to that new album, Sujitsu. You know, I like some of the songs, but a lot of it was just, and the same I could say about Book of Souls. I was impressed by Dance to Death recently. But still, none of it holds the candle to the first 5 albums. And people that love later Maiden, hey, man, they do. You know, that's cool for them, man. To me, they're overrated, and they have such a badass mascot that I have a feeling that there's a lot of people into Maiden because of the badass mascot. Musically, I don't think they can hold the candle to what they did up to Power Slave, and really the second album, you know, because after Killers, as much as I love Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, and Power Slaves, all 3 of them were not even close to the first 2 Maiden albums. So that's how I feel about it. All right, Ian, now you say what you feel about it.
Maiden's a fucking t-shirt band, you know. They're a fucking t-shirt band like the fucking Misfits and fucking the Ramones and shit like that. I don't know. To me, they haven't done shit in fucking years that I give a fuck about. They get a little bit of respect because they're a legacy band. They're still around. But none of their shit holds a candle to the old shit, you know. I love Old Maiden, man. I love Old Maiden to death, you know. And anytime I bitch about Maiden, it takes away nothing about what, you know, they've accomplished. But to me, it's like, you know, what have you done for me lately? That's Maiden shit. Ooh, you know, what the fuck have they done in the last fucking 30 fucking years? Shit. You know, maybe a couple good songs here or there, but yeah, it does nothing for me. That being said, I really want to go see this, you know, latest tour, you know, because I want to hear old shit that's good. Scribble says, if you guys could travel through time, where would you go and why? I would go to the future. Why go to the past? I know what happened in the past. And it doesn't matter if I liked, you know, music better in the past or movies better in the past. I don't want to go nowhere where I don't have Wi-Fi. So I would go into the future and see how bad we fuck shit up. How about you, Rev?
I would love to go to the past and see Led Zeppelin and AC/DC with Bon Scott and make sure that Fred Durst never does a band.
There you go. Best of both worlds. Fags. Okay, Future Squash. Oh man. Evidently Future Squash is just a fan of you, Ralph, because if he listened to the Rock and Metal Combat podcast, he would know the answer to this question. But Mechanics or Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen by fucking 10,000 fucking horses. Mechanics sucks compared to Four Horsemen, in my opinion.
I feel different. I like Mechanics more, but I will say the lyrics on Four Horsemen are better because the lyrics of Mechanics are horrible. But I like Mechanics without Sweet Home Alabama thrown in the middle of it. That's what Four Horsemen is. It's Four Horsemen with Sweet Home Alabama.
All right. Scribble says, what are you guys most proud of about yourselves and the RMCP?
I would have to say the thing I'm the most proud of are the listeners and how much they donated, how much they went to bat for us on the Podcast King tournament. I mean, it was fanatical what they would do.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the most proud of our viewers.
Yeah, I would be much more selfish than your answer. Great answer, by the way, though. I would be most proud about that we've always been real.
Yeah.
That we've never done bullshit. and we've done stuff that's hurt our career, as far as like possibilities of getting bigger and getting more acceptance and shit like that, but it's never what it was to Ralph and I mean, while we would like to make some money off this, it's never been about this. It's been about being real. And that's the thing that attracted me to Ralph in this first place, is when I saw his old Black Sabbath reviews on a Black Sabbath fan page. I was like, finally, this is a guy that talks like a real person, that shows real passion. He's not kissing ass. He's giving his legitimate opinions. And we've always done that on the show. We had one person on the show who didn't, and that person didn't last too fucking long. But Ralph and I, for better or for worse, have always been honest, and sometimes it bites you in the ass and makes you look bad. I mean, I know there's been plenty of episodes where I've looked bad about what I've said and shit, but it's always been legit, and I love that we have the loyalty that we have by being ourselves, by not like faking, oh, this is the greatest band ever, and so they'll do an interview with us. We would rather tell you the truth than fucking suck dick and get people we don't like just to get more views.
In the history of our show, we have never said something that we later went back on and said, I was joking.
Yeah.
I was joking.
Yeah.
Never.
And there's very few shows, in my opinion, that have ever done that. I will say, the one that's done it and kept their integrity would be Decibel Geek. Because I believe Decibel Geek, anybody they interview or they talk to, they are fans of, they do enjoy, and they've done everything the right way. But I know there's plenty of other shows that just go through the motions to, say the right things and, bullshit their way to get popular. Very few have done it like Decibel Geek has done it the right way. But we are one of them. But we've suffered even more because of the shit we say. And, to me, one of the greatest compliments we've ever got, because we've got many great ones from you listeners, but Ralph, knowing the guy who managed AC/DC, and the manager told him, he goes, I love your fucking podcast, but I would never let AC/DC do your show because of how you guys are and the shit you say. And to me, that means everything. That's like when we got kicked off of that indie radio station, for talking about eating ass on a fucking Guns N' Roses episode. I wear that with a badge of honor, because for better or worse, we've been true the whole fucking time. There's no bullshit with us. So you might agree with me one episode or Ralph the other episode, but we never say shit, just to shock you or, to make you like us. We're 100% legit. And I think that's the biggest, draw to our show, is people can see that, they know they're not going to get spoon fed whatever, so we can talk to people on Eddie Trunk's list. We do whatever, and I'd rather stay in the fucking trenches and keep it real than suck ass and lie and get bigger.
I was joking.
Exactly.
Poser.
Goof Jackson says LOL. I don't know what that's. And Hershey Squirt says I agree with Ralph on brown sugar. Goof Jackson says same. I still say gay all the time. Okay, cool. Devin Palladino says, is Dora Pesh the hottest woman in heavy metal? I would say Nina Strauss.
Leather.
But Dora Pesh looks damn good for her age, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
RCR sucks. Social media gave those babies the drive to say the things that they are offended by when they wouldn't even had the ball to say in real life. Yes, I agree with that, but I think that goes both ways. On the right and the left, there's plenty of fucking, keyboard tough guys. And I think it takes real balls to fucking do what Ralph and I do, where you put your not only your name but your face out there and you say the things you believe in. Because this shit's all public record. Anybody can go back and play any of our fucking episodes or any of our YouTube videos. You know who we are, and we don't give a fuck. We always keep it real. Saul G says, wow, that new Guns N' Roses song actually sounded good, and the new Ministry song sucks. What a switch up. I would disagree. I thought that Guns N' Roses song sucked hard. And I thought the new Ministry song, while not mind-blowing, was 1,000 times better and more authentic than the new Guns N' Roses. But that's my opinion.
I heard the Ministry song, and I didn't like the Guns N' Roses song.
Yeah, the new Ministry song is called "Goddamn White Trash," and Pepper Keenan from COC plays on it. It's not. It's not.
Why isn't that canceled?
Yeah. Oh, you see the video though is awesome. The video
but still, that's something that woke people won't cancel. Yet it's no different than saying something about a black person derogatory. Oh, it's okay to say white trash.
Right, but okay. If you go online and look at the comments, you got all the Trump people are trying to cancel it and calling it woke and all this bullshit and stuff.
Yeah, but they
to me, it's an okay song. It's not a standout, But that new Guns N' Roses song, sucks.
That new Guns N' Roses should be canceled too.
Yeah, I believe the Guns N' Roses song should be canceled because it sucks. There's people who immediately are going to hate. They're going to hate the new Ministry song. I think more people are going to be offended by the video because of the people it makes offend. If you're like a Proud Boy or like a Trumper, the video for the Ministry song will offend you. I think much more than the song will. Because it doesn't sound that different from old Ministry, but you probably like that one because it wasn't making fun of you. But and I'm not saying this to you personally, whoever didn't like the song. I'm not saying that's why you hate it. Maybe you just generally hate the song. But to me, the Guns N' Roses song is much more offensive just because it sucks. There's nothing political about it. It's a shitty throwaway song. Horrible. All right. Every time I hit something, it goes up. Okay. Kyron says, do you guys have any worst fart stories that you want to share? I have one. At the time I was, I wasn't always as big as I am now. I didn't start putting on weight till probably my early 30s. I used to be a very skinny lad. But I went on this diet, I did like the Atkins thing. And when you do the Atkins, like everything you eat runs through you, because you're basically eating like just meat or salad and shit. And I tried to fart in a coworker's face. I thought it'd be funny. I told the other guy, go watch it, because he's sitting down on the ground working. He's doing this shit. And I stick my ass up to his face and I go to fart and I totally fucking shit myself.
Oh.
Totally shit my pants. And I at the time I was a construction electrician, so we were building like a fucking it's a horrible fast food chain, Sonics. We were building a Sonics in Florida. So I'm like, hey, watch this. And I go to fart in his face. I shit my pants. And I used to carry like a milk jug. I would fill it up with, Florida's fucking hot. This. So I would fill the water jug up with water every day when I got home, and I'd put it in the freezer and I'd bring it with me to work and I would sip on it because it would melt, because of the heat. I have cold water. So I had to take the fucking jug with me into the portalet because I'm on a construction job. There's no toilets. There's a portalet. So I had to take my fucking water and like wash the shit out of my fucking shorts, in the portalet. And I did the best job I could. But like after it was done, I had to put these wet shorts back on, and then I'm working outside in the fucking heat. So now I'm sweating. So you get this like horrible, this fucking horrible smell of like dried shit, And what's funny is the guy whose face I tried to fart, and he goes, "Can you go home? Can you go home? I think that's, you can go home for that." He's like, "I do not want to smell the shit that I'm smelling coming from you right now." So yeah, that's my worst fart story.
The only one I can think of is when I toured Puerto Rico, and the band and myself and the guy from Angel Corpse, Pete, and his girlfriend were in the room, and we were all talking, and for some reason something funny was said that I laughed and farted because of my laughing. My ass laughed too. It farted. That's the only thing I can think of.
Did it smell bad?
No, man, it was me. It smelled like potpourri.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
Yeah, that's the only fart story I can think of that happened.
All right. Well, I guess I win that one.
Yeah.
Gus Caligor says Halloween is way better than Man of War. Gus, I'm gonna guess you're from Europe, but let me know in the comments if you're wrong. And if you haven't, hit subscribe, hit all, and smash that like button. God damn it! It helps what Ralph calls the algorithm.
And then after you subscribe, leave the hall.
And Goof Jackson says, "No, Man of War is hail and kill." Then Gus says, "Devin, have you ever seen Canada's metal queen Lee Aaron?" I've heard of her. I've never seen her, never heard her.
Yeah, she got a video from Metal Queen. It's good.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Hannah Montana says, "Not that you would care, but did you see the foot of Motley Crue playing a snippet of Hammered recently? I was at that show and I was kind of shocked. Not gonna lie, it was kind of cool to hear." I saw the story headline, but I didn't even care enough to fucking click. I don't think Hammered's that great a song. So
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't. Did you hear about it though? Were you
Yeah,
privy to this knowledge? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, God damn it, play Hooligan's Holiday. Best fucking song on that album. Worst movie of the 1980s. Caddyshack 2.
Wow, there were so many shitty movies.
Yeah, I would have to go with Caddyshack 2.
I guess I'll go with Caddyshack 2 too, because I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's even worse than Jaws the Revenge. It's really bad.
Oh, yeah, Jaws the Revenge. Was that 80s?
Yeah, 87.
That was bad.
I was a first day ticket buyer to that shit show.
I didn't see that in the theater.
Oh, I did. God damn. Oh, it was horrible. And the fucked up thing is, I saw Jaws 3D in the theaters.
I did too.
And it was the worst 3D that I've ever seen in a movie theater. And I hated Jaws the Revenge even more.
That part in Jaws 3D where the shark goes up to the window breaks,
horrible.
But the shark is still when the window breaks.
The best that I feel bad for people who didn't get to see it in 3D is I love Friday the 13th 3 in 3D. I thought that shit worked. I saw it at the drive-in in 3D. I was probably like 7.
I saw it with the eye popping out.
Yeah. And I actually saw like a re-release in the theaters and but the re-release in the theaters, I saw with the old school, the red and the blue glasses. I would like to see it. I have it on Blu-ray that has like the modern 3D where you wear the different glasses, but I don't have. My 4K player will play 3D Blu-rays, but my TV doesn't do it. But there is a projector because I watch a lot of movies outdoors. I got an outdoors projector, but I'm going to get a new one, like this laser projector that'll do 3D, so I can watch like modern 3D. I just got to buy the new modern ones. I'm excited to do that. But all right. Goof Jackson says Metallica is the ultimate t-shirt band up here. Yeah, I can kind of see that. You know, I've talked about that at great lengths. You know, when Ralph and I were young, you wore a Metallica shirt, you were a scumbag. And nowadays, if you wear it, you're hip and you're on the football team and shit. Scribble says, not sure if you guys have paid attention lately, but Nick Cage is kind of experiencing a new joint in his career after years. I love his flicks personally. What are your guys' thoughts on the Cage? I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's an amazing actor. He went through a bad period where he owed so much money that Nick Cage was like in 20 movies a year, and he would just do whatever, you know, he would get paid. But I think it sucks, you know, he got to where I can't remember if he won Best Actor or just got nominated for Leaving Las Vegas. But I mean, that was an amazing performance. But then after he got that popularity, he started doing popcorn movies like The Rock and shit like that. And to me, that's when it nosedived. It's kind of like when Travolta got this second lease on life with fucking Pulp Fiction. And then he starts doing shit like Phenomenon and horrible, you know, Michael, where he's a fucking, you know, it's like, bitch, you're going right back to doing fucking Look Who's Talking movies. You know, it's like you have respectability again, but you're just going after the paycheck, taking these shitty movies. So Nick Cage will be in anything that they will hire him for. But I do believe he's a capable actor. And a good friend of mine partied with him when he lived in New Orleans for a while. He bought this historic house in New Orleans. It's supposed to be the most haunted house in the world, but he lost that shit. But my buddy went bar hopping with him and said he was fucking cool as shit. I love Nick Cage. What do you think?
I don't know much about him, to tell you the truth. I'm really bad with pop culture. I can't think of any movie I've seen with him. Where is the one where the baby was in the road and they scooped it up?
Raised in Arizona.
I seen that one. That was good.
Oh, love that movie.
I enjoyed
Coen Brothers
that
movie. Yeah.
I enjoyed that, but I don't really know much more about Nicolas Cage. I know he had a bit part in Fast Times.
Yeah.
But I think he was called Nicholas Coppola back then, right?
Yeah. He's Francis Ford Coppola's
Right.
nephew.
Yeah.
But I like that he changed his name because he didn't. Well, what's funny is if you hear stories from people who worked with him on Fast Times, they said he was horrible, like an Eddie Trunk, like name dropper, like, yeah, my uncle's Francis Ford Coppola. My uncle's Francis Ford Coppola, you know, my uncle's Francis Ford Coppola. But then he had a change of heart and change his name to Nicolas Cage after he's a big comic book guy. I think he paid like millions of dollars for like the first Superman comic, and his son's even named Kal-El, you know, which is Superman's real name in the comic books. But he did change his name because he didn't want to, you know, get his break off of nepotism. He wanted to make his own way, so he called himself Nicolas Cage after whatever the Cage dude is. I think it's the dude that fucking Sam Jackson plays in all the Marvel movies. Anyway. Favorite AC/DC deep cut. Mine would have to be Beating Around the Bush.
That's a great one.
Mine would be hands down, I think one of the most overlooked and underappreciated songs in their whole catalog would be Spellbound. I think that's just an amazing track that gets no respect.
Mine would be Squealer.
Oh, great song. Love it. See, I wouldn't see that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've listened to that song since I was fucking, 14 years old. I don't see it as well. I guess you don't hear too many people talk about Squealer. You never see it played live. But that was always like a favorite of mine and all my friends who listened to it.
But Squealer's a deep track, though. It is
Yeah.
a deep track.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great fucking song. Great fucking song. Let's see. Are you guys buying the Motley Crue Shout the Devil 40th anniversary box set?
No.
I think it's awesome that they're doing it, but no, I'm probably not gonna buy it. I'll download it, you know, but I'm not gonna buy it. But it's the only album of theirs that deserves that kind of treatment, so that's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's see. Future Squash. Ian, I do listen to the pod. Okay, cool. Probably something I already said and don't remember. Oh, and then he says, okay, I get it. I guess I knew you'd say Four Horsemen, but I didn't know what Ralph would say. Okay, so I get that. Yeah, but Ralph's always been vocal about his love for the Mechanics too.
Yeah.
But if it helps you though, Dave Mustaine's still my favorite thrash guitar player of all time. So there's that. The next Future Squash says, oh fuck. I hit the button and then it like just skips ahead so much. What's your favorite episode of the pod that you've done up until this point? That's a hard one because I would have to say the last episode of our podcast that I've ever listened to was Rolling Stones Goat's Head Soup. I mean, because I used to be like real, I just wanted to hear myself and I was so happy and like, and now it's like, I never want to hear my voice or even, it's like, I get now when bands don't listen to their own music, because you do it all the time. And my wife loves the fucking show. And I get in the car and she's playing episodes. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it. It's like I live it. I am it. I want to get away from it. Not that I hate it. I love doing this show, but it's kind of like it's a one and done. But highlights, I would say, the Motley Crue worst episodes. It's our highest episode, and I think for a reason. I think it's so fucking funny. But I would have to say personal favorite would be the one with Gildan Gorbit Grape or whatever his name is.
That was a good one.
That was a fucking hilarious episode. Not only I'm proud of what I came up with and the way it worked out. Like he bit every joke I threw out there, and it was so funny. He did it. He actually sent me a copy of his book after the episode with a crisp $5 bill in it. And I kept that $5 bill for about 8 years. And actually at one point I was so desperate and hard up, I had to spend that $5 and it killed me because I wanted to save it because that $5 looked like it had just been printed. And I love the fact that it was in that book. I feel so horrible that I had to spend it, but that was a fun episode where every joke worked. He went along with the punches, and whatever you guys think of him, I get it. People who hate him, but goddamn, did he play along? And it was a fun episode. And I think, it was an early one for us, but I think that's really where we came into our own, where it was just Ralph and I, and we just nailed it. All of us. I think we were hitting on all cylinders. And as a guest, Gordon, I mean, he went with the flow. That'd probably be my favorite.
Yeah, those would be my favorites. I also like TikTok Man on Hot in the Shade.
Oh yeah, that was
when he went off on Tito on the Hide Your Heart.
Oh yeah. And the Bill Wang episodes are all fucking classic. I mean, there's a lot of fucking
Use Your Illusion 2.
Oh yeah.
Not 1, but 2. That's the one.
Oh yeah. And that sucks, man. Fucking Justin Childers, man. That was a guy, he was so fucking funny on our page. He was so fucking funny, man. And I consider that guy a friend. And he unfriended me during, in 2016. he was hardcore Trump. He knew I was very anti-Trump, and he unfriended me, and that's unfortunate. There was a couple people, actually, I think during that shit we lost about 25 listeners that left the page just because of my views. And some have come back, like John Holt left, and then me and him became friends again, and I'm glad, because I think John Holt's a fucking hilarious, awesome dude. But it sucked about Justin Childers, man, because it just sucks in this day and age how politics can divide you. But he got so mad about my views, and I was just, don't get me wrong, I'm just as appalled by people who like Trump. But if you're my friend, you're my friend. We don't have to agree. And that Justin choose to leave over that sucks, because he was so fucking funny on the page. He was much better on the page than he was on the episode, but I think it worked on the episode that he wasn't as funny as he was normally. But like when Ralph started talking about eating ass, he's like, "Oh, I ain't down for all that."
Yeah, I was telling him I wanted to get married to a girl that would get gangbanged by 12 black guys.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no, yeah, try that in a small town." Yeah, those great episodes, but I still believe our best is always ahead of us. I never think this show is run out of steam. I think we still have a lot to offer. Anytime you get Ralph and I together, it's going to be fucking magic. I think even our worst episodes, like, and by worst episodes, I mean fan-picked episodes where it's something we don't care about, we still come up with something that's funny and amazing. And the way Ralph and I work off of each other and shit, I'm very proud of this show, and I'll be cocky about it, man, because I really think we offer something unique and honest and funny. And there's a lot of shows out there that are just plain boring, and they might have the better video set up and a better audio set up and all this shit, but they don't have the heart. And that's the thing. You can't beat Ralph and I on heart and honesty, So this show's limitless as long as Ralph and I are still kicking, and I don't piss him off. It's endless possibilities for this show. We are the best team. We are Jagger and Richards. We are Lennon McCartney. We are Eddie and fucking Dave. I really believe that. Might sound cocky, but I think we do have that magic, that very few shows have. And
we are Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Let's see, what else do we have here? Time to throw shade, brothers. What are the worst podcasts out there? Name names.
Freeform Rock Podcast, the worst. And I'm not saying that because I want to get in a war. Look, here's the deal. And I've talked to him about it where he takes it the wrong way, like I'm being mean, but no, man, people listen to podcasts to hear people talk. When you listen to Freeform, he plays songs in the middle of the talking. Like, all right, pick 3 songs of this album we're gonna talk about. And it just like kills the flow by putting a song. So ain't no bashing at Mark, though. I'm just telling you as it is. I don't want to hear songs during a podcast. So I would say that is the worst podcast out
there. Yeah. I would say I'm the worst one to ask this question to, and I'm going to be a horrible salesman here. I don't listen to podcasts anymore, even ones that I enjoy. I don't know. I just got out of it. But the worst sin I think you can commit is being boring. I've heard podcasts that are very wordy, and they'll give you all the facts, who played this on that and who did all that, but entertain me. make me laugh, make me feel engaged. And there's some, Decibel Geek. I think Decibel Geek is a perfect podcast. They're funny and they're informative, but a lot of them just miss the mark. I mean, anybody can do a podcast now, and a lot of people do. And
everybody does do a podcast now.
And that's the thing. Like how we talk about how rock's dead. I kind of feel like podcasts are dead. I feel like podcasts have peaked. You know what I mean? And because it's a fad like anything. People come, people go. So many people start podcasts and they don't last. But there's nobody I really want to throw. I can't even bitch about Freeform because unlike Ralph, I've never heard one Freeform podcast episode.
And I've actually listened to it, and I'm the back. You don't even listen to it because you know what to expect.
Yeah,
it's what you think.
Exactly, and but I'm not trying to discourage it. Like if you have the passion and you want to do it, but do it because you have passion. Because if you just think you're going to get rich or you're going to get famous because you're doing it, you're just fucking deluding yourself. But Ralph and I, honestly, we just have this fucking dialogue. And the way we joke together, our senses of humor, even though, we agree on so much, we disagree on so much. And I think it makes for an entertaining show. And that's what it's all about, man. Make me fucking laugh. Tell me something I don't know. And that's kind of hard. And not that I know it all, but Ralph and I have forgotten more shit about music than most people know. So there's not a lot of times, we can watch a documentary or a YouTube video. 9 times out of 10, we know 95% of what they're fucking talking about already because we're that passionate about it. We're fucking nerds. We research this shit, But when we talk about it, it's all about passion. It's all about how you feel about it, not kissing ass, So, yeah, I guess I hate all podcasts except for us and Decibel Geek. And BJ Cramp. I miss BJ Cramp.
Yeah, he doesn't do a podcast anymore.
I think he does. I think he's still doing it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he started back up. He took a break when he was writing the Cheap Trick book. And what sucks is like Podbean has changed its whole like the way the websites, because I would like whenever he put up a podcast, but the way Podbean's set up now, I don't know. It doesn't show his podcast, so I can't hit likes, and I hope he thinks I don't like his show. But we got to get BJ on here because I want him to come on here and talk about his awesome fucking Cheap Trick book.
We will.
Yeah, good dude. All right. Kyron says we need more Ralph and Ians in this world. Hey, awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Speaker Cloud says, peace, brothers. Ian with the dope Mo Green background. Yes.
That's our boy Mike Sears.
Oh, yeah. Mike. Okay. I keep forgetting Speaker Cloud. Fuck yeah, I love Mike Sears. That's a motherfucker. What I love about Mike is he's passionate about so many types of music. And I love that too, because that motherfucker, he loves his metal and he loves his rap. And even though I'm not, there's rap that I like, but I'm not as into it as he is. But I love his passion about it, He's just, there ain't no bullshit out of Mike Sears.
No, he's the real deal.
Yeah, I fucking love that shit. Still want to get together with him and talk about the greatest rap album of all time, Ice-T's OG Original Gangster.
Word, I pull the trigger long.
Pull the trigger long. Grit my teeth, spray the liver niggas on. Got my block sewn on, but don't spot. Last thing I sweat, just like a pump cop. Move like a king when I roll high. You try to flex, bang, another brother died. I love that shit. I love it. And I know it's not the best because that would be Tribe Called Quest, but god damn it, I love that shit.
I love OG. I got that CD.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Blonde Baby 80 LOL. Blonde Baby 80. He loves good guff. Okay. Vincent Longo. Favorite Tarantino movie post Jackie Brown?
I don't know. You name them. I don't know what came after Jackie Brown.
After Jackie Brown would be Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2, Death Proof, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, The Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Inglourious Bastards.
I would probably go with Kill Bill 1. Which I'm very upset about because apparently Lionsgate, I'm going to get in my new movie nerd shit here. Lionsgate is going to release a 4K of Jackie Brown and Kill Bill Volume 1. But I want the long rumor. Well, it's not rumored, it's happened, but there's a cut. Kill Bill was supposed to be one movie, and Harvey Weinstein made him cut it into two. But there's a cut of Kill Bill called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, and in that, not only is it one seamless movie, but like the kill scene where she's killing all the Japanese motherfuckers and shit, that's in black and white. It's in color. They made him put it in black and white because in color with the blood, they wouldn't give it an R rating in the US. So I want to see that like whole scene in fucking color and shit. But yeah, I'd go with Kill Bill. But I'm one of those.
I gotta watch it again because I didn't really. The same thing with Death Proof. I hated Death Proof. I watched it again. I loved it. So I might feel that way about Kill Bill because I couldn't get into it.
Oh yeah. See, I love every Tarantino movie. The only one I didn't get into right away was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and a lot of people say that's his best.
I like that one a lot.
Oh, I love it now, but there was bad circumstances when I went and saw it. I was in a bad mood. I was with a bad person I was in a fight with, and it wasn't a good situation. And now the more I watch it, the more and more I love it. But I think Tarantino never made a bad movie. Death Proof, I had a hard time with the first time because I think I saw Grindhouse in theaters. And it was Planet Terror first, and then Death Proof, and I think it should have been the other way around. I think Death Proof should have been the first one they showed, and then Planet Terror, because Planet Terror was so like fucking balls to wall out of the place, where Death Proof was more dialogue heavy. I think it just kind of the experience that kind of slowed it down, but now I love it. So. Pete Willis or Bruce Kulick? Pete Willis.
Pete Willis. Bruce Kulick's overrated. Well, overrated to the Kiss Army. I don't really. To me, Bruce Kulick sounds like every other guitar player. He didn't have a signature sound. He was a competent guitar player, but stage presence, horrible. I mean,
yeah. Bruce Kulick is the original Matt Sorum. But I will say when I think Bruce Kulick, all I think about is the solo from Tears Are Falling. That's what I think of, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
I don't care. I just don't see what's so special about him. Thought Vinnie Vincent was better in Kiss.
I think what might help Bruce Kulick is he's a good person, where a lot of people in Kiss are a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, all the original members of Kiss are pieces of shit. Are bad human beings. All four of them, where Bruce Kulick, is a nice person, Him
and Eric Carr.
Yeah, Eric Carr. Unfortunately, the only two members of Kiss I never met was Eric Carr and Mark St. John. I've met everybody else and got their autographs.
Yeah, same here. I've never met them either.
Connor Strand says Lord of War is one of my favorite Cage movies. I want to watch that. I bought a 4K digital copy of that, but I have yet to watch it. So, Mark Daly's here, and he says, Dick tastes good. Then he says, The Van Halen documentary part 4 on 1984 tour was great. I was blown away when I found out the band was making over 200,000 a night in shirt sales alone. Well, I mean, that just goes to show you the genius of David Lee Roth, shit that wouldn't have happened without Dave. And I started watching the guy that does the tape archives, that did all that shit. He recently posted an interview with Eddie Van Halen and Michael Anthony from the around the OU 812 era. And I didn't want to watch it. And I'm like, well, fuck it. Let me see. I got about like 10 minutes into it. But what I thought was cool is I thought it was cool, but I thought it sucked because it's the same guy who, if you watch, this guy just put up an interview with David Lee Roth from around the same time on the skyscraper shit. And the guy's telling David Lee Roth, the same interviewer, he's telling David Lee Roth how much Van Halen sucks with Sammy Hagar. But now while he's interviewing fucking Eddie and fucking Michael Anthony, he ain't saying that. He ain't kissing their ass, but he ain't saying that, what he said in the Dave interview, that I think, the shit with Sammy sucks. But anyway, the guy brings up, David Lee Roth and some shit about David Lee Roth. And Eddie actually says some good shit about Dave, about what he did with the band. But then Eddie says, I don't want to talk about him, and then they change the subject. And that's where I shut the interview off. It's like, well, I don't care. I don't want to hear you fucking suck Sammy's dick, But I thought it was great that even then, because you and me were there, we know how cantankerous that was at that time and how much the Van Halen camp, much more than Dave, talk shit. Yeah.
And
Dave.
Sammy would burn pictures of Dave on stage.
Yeah. Dave actually, everybody's like, oh, Dave's got the ego and Dave all this. If you were there and you remember correctly, Dave took the high road in almost all that shit, where Van Halen was much more derogatory towards Dave.
There was a story during the Monsters of Rock stadium tour.
Yeah.
Backstage had I think it was a Diver Down shirt, and Sammy made him take it off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'll love this. This is funny. So Dave did make a great quote at the time, saying that, whatever, Sammy Hagar is going to have to sing Jump every show, and I'm not going to be singing any Sammy Hagar's fucking songs. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, notoriously, I don't think it was till the Fuck Tour that Van Hagar performed Jump. And so I got this, I saw this thing on one of the sites that I download from, one of the torrent sites. It was a Van Halen like FM broadcast compilation. And I saw some of the songs on there and I was like, well, I know Dave's singing that. And then I saw, some songs were like, well, fuck, I know that's a Sammy song. So I'm going to download it. And of course, I'll delete any songs where Sammy's singing. But on this compilation, the version of Jump was with Hagar. And oh my God, was it so bad. And then like the little bit, like I fast forward just to see who was singing, like he's making the crowd sing the song because he won't sing it. And but it's like, man, trying to hear Sammy do Dave lyrics, and like that's what made me snap when I heard that fucking horrible Right Here Right Now live album was when I heard Hagar do the Dave shit. And that's when I fucking had a nervous breakdown. But yeah, fuck Sammy Hagar. And that's what sucks. The guy that's doing the Van Halen documentaries, I hope he has more Dave shit, because I'm not interested if he's doing a bunch more Van Hagar shit. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah. Watch the numbers on that compared to the 1984 documentaries. But
the Sammy Hagar videos went to #1.
Yeah. Let me refresh my drink and talk about the next question, Ian.
All right. Kyron says that's interesting. I don't know what that's in. reference to. Then Karen says, favorite unreleased Beatles song. I wish Paul McCartney would have released the full version of Carnival of Light. I don't know a lot of unreleased Beatles songs, honestly. I mean, other than like, weird takes that were on the anthology collections. I guess we'll wait till Ralph gets back. But how are you guys doing? What do we got? We got 38 fucking likes here. Let's see. How many motherfuckers are watching? Let's see. Oh, only 36 of you motherfuckers watching. Okay, 38 likes, so I can't complain. All right. All right. Should have had more people. We gave short notice on this episode, though, so I can't bitch. But thank you to all you guys who are tuning in. Hope you're enjoying this. Always fun talking with Ralph and talking to you guys. I love these questions. Got a lot of good questions this time. Not so much of the this versus that. Which, I mean, I get it, but shit gets old. But it's always, Dave versus fucking Sammy. Dave always wins. How you guys doing? Anybody take a good shit today? Love taking a good shit. What's better, a good shit or a good piss? Let me know in the comment section down there. I don't know. I've had some good pisses where I'm like, oh, but then I've had some good shits that I'd put up there with a fucking orgasm. So it's hard to say. Boy, I'm lost without Ralph.
I'm back.
Oh, okay, good. What's your favorite unreleased Beatles song?
Wow. Are there such a thing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I pretty much just know alternate takes that were on anthology and shit like that.
Maybe something off that would be an unreleased Beatles song, like
Yeah.
Bicycles for Two, the one that ended up on the McCartney album.
I would say probably the best unreleased Beatles song would be a George Harrison song that was good. Maybe.
Is there such a thing? The overrated Beatle. I like Ray more.
Yeah. I like Pete Best more. Oh shit. All right.
I like Clarence more.
All right. Mark Daly. The AC/DC covert story Ralph shared on his YouTube concert stories on Almost Human are fantastic. But Ian, do you have any crazy concert stories you would like to share? No, God, I've had many of crazy concert stories. From getting on stage with Blue Oyster Cult and getting kicked out to getting kicked out of Wasp for being too drunk or for accidentally taking heroin at a Poison concert. There's been a bunch. My concert story nowadays are pretty boring. I'm an old fart, but man, nothing like fucking concerts, man. Nothing like concerts. Even though nowadays I go to far too many concerts by myself, and I'm always like, oh God, I don't want to go by myself. It's so lame going to a concert by yourself. But I always end up having fun, and I'm always like, by the end of it, I'm glad I went. But I wish more of you motherfuckers lived around Seattle, so I had some people to go with, particularly somebody to drive, so I could get more fucked up. If I had somebody to drive to the show, I could get more fucked up and probably have a better story for you all. So if you really care, move to the Seattle or Seattle adjacent area, and let's go to some shows. You're driving. All right. Vincent Longo. Continuing it, you guys are Belushi and Aykroyd. Oh, yeah, we are a great team like Belushi and Aykroyd. I would agree with that. I would agree. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. We are a very good team. Kyron says, do you guys know that there is an unreleased John Lennon and Yoko Ono movie where all you are seeing is John Lennon's dick? I'm not making it up. This movie is entitled Self-Portrait. Jesus fuck. Portrait, by the way. I mean, I had no idea of that, but I mean, I know on the cover of the wedding album, you see John's cock and it's uncircumcised. Which who wants to see that? I'm sorry for you motherfuckers that live in Europe, but nobody wants to see that shit. Get that shit fucking trimmed. Nobody wants to see a fucking
I
anteater.
don't think I want to watch that.
Yeah. I tell you what, I had a buddy of mine, and I'm not going to say his last name, but his first name's Mark. Mark ain't watching this shit. Anyway, Mark is of the Latino persuasion, and his parents didn't have him circumcised. And when he was 13 years old and he started fucking around with white American girls, they were very thrown off by his anteater penis. And so he begged his parents to have a circumcision, as a teenager. He said it was horrible, very painful, very terrible experience. That's why you do that shit when they're babies and they don't remember it later. But yeah, clean that cock up, man. Nobody wants a fucking anteater. Are you circumcised, Ralph?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, good boy.
What do you call? The only way I would watch that John Lennon movie is if it had Ace Frehley sucking on his cock. Then I'd watch it.
Yeah. That's Kiss Meets the Phantom. Let's see. Scribble says Barks and W or mug. I believe he's referring to root beer.
I don't like root beer.
Yeah, I don't either. I used to like it as a kid, but now I find it too sugary. Let's see. Speaker Clout. Let's do that soon. Okay, I'm sure he's referring to the iced tea. Awesome. Best song, Future Squash. Best song off of Overkill's Feel the Fire.
Best song off it?
Yeah.
Ooh. I guess I'll go with Overkill.
That's a good one.
Love Rotten to the Core is good, and Hammerhead. I covered it with Bobby Gustafson playing the solo on it.
Right.
But I'm going to go with Overkill.
Yeah, Overkill. That's a strong contender, but Rotten to the Core. I'm also a big fan of. Goddamn, what's the Dead Boys cover they do on that?
Sonic Reducer.
Yeah, Sonic Reducer, but I know that's not on all versions
No,
of it.
it's on CD.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, it's my least favorite of the Bobby Gustafson albums, but I still love it.
It would be my second favorite of the Bobby Gustafson.
Oh yeah.
I like every song. Kill Command, Meet Your Maker. What's the name of that one? Blood something. That whole album fucking rules. Second Son. Great stuff.
No, it's a good one. Let's see. Yeah, Speaker Cloud says, yeah, the OG original Gangster episode. Yeah, I'd love to do that with you, brother Mike. Kyron says favorite Accept album. I would probably go with what's the one before Balls to the Wall? The one with Fast as a Shark.
Yeah, Restless and Wild.
Restless and Wild, yeah.
That's my favorite as well.
Future Squash, best Night Demon song.
Made in Hell.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I'm a casual night. I love everything I've heard from Night Demon, but I'm not familiar enough to know all the song titles, but I like everything I've heard, so I can't answer that. Kyron, how would a Kiss turned out if Slash joined? I think it would have been no different. I think they still would have done Crazy Nights. I think Slash is that inconsequential. He's a fucking top hat. You want a guitar player? Look at Izzy Stradlin. You want a fucking a goof? Look at Slash or fucking Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee without his dick or Slash without his top hat. Yeah, then they'd be rated. Hannah Montana says, "What's your favorite John 5 album?" Are you talking about albums he played on or solo albums? That's a tough one. I'm a huge John 5 fan. I just wish I wish he would do his own thing. I mean, I love his solo stuff. I wish he would form his own band, that was something original, because I think he was just wasted in fucking, 2 and Marilyn Manson. He couldn't really show, and Rob Zombie, he couldn't really show what he's capable of. I mean, the closest thing he did where he showed what he's capable of was the DLR album.
That would be the best thing he's done for me.
Yeah, probably there. Hanoi Bomb says, "Get late. Cheers, boys." All right, Hanoi Bomb.
Cheers.
Kyron says, "Sammy doing Running with the Devil is terrible too." Yeah.
I saw that. Monsters of Rock tour. They played that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. His next post was it was the Monsters of Rock tour too.
That's when I saw it.
Krusty Pioneer says, "Yo, Ian and Ralph, this is Evan Siegel, longtime fan." Evan Siegel. Yes,
Yeah.
you are definitely old school. Where you been, brother? I believe he lives in NoCal, which is Northern California, if I remember correctly. Metal Group 45 says, "Favorite Burt Reynolds film?" Oof. I'm a big fan of The End.
Oh man. I haven't seen that forever. Remember when I first got HBO?
Yeah.
Saw The End. At the end of the movie, Dom DeLuise chasing him with a knife.
Yeah. That movie was a passion project of his that he did. Remember the movie Hooper?
Yeah.
Where he played the stunt guy?
Yeah.
He did Hooper solely so he could do The End. That was part of his contract. He wanted to do The End, and none of the studios believed in it, but I believe it was Universal or 20th Century Fox said, "Okay, if you do Hooper, we'll produce, we'll let you do The End." A very good.
The End dark flop, wasn't it?
Yeah. The End didn't do very well. Hooper did great, but The End didn't do very well. But it's kind of a dark comedy where he's dying of a disease, and God, he goes into a mental hospital and everything. And oh God, what's the cute lesbian I used to love when I was a kid? Christy McNichol. Christy McNichol plays his daughter, and Sally Field was his girlfriend. Dom DeLuise is in it. Really, really good movie. Me and the wife just watched it, about a month ago. She'd never seen it. She loved it. I mean, there's a lot of, Deliverance, fucking Smokey and the Bear, the original. There's a lot of great.
I'm gonna go with The Longest Yards.
Longest Yard's a great one.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
But I would have to say, if I had to pick the best movie, not my favorite Burt Reynolds movie, but I think the best movie he was ever in was Boogie Nights. And I thought he was absolutely incredible in that movie, and was so sad, when he talked shit about the movie. And here he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which I think he deserved that year. I think he lost to Robin Williams. But I was like, oh man, but he's like, oh, this is a dirty movie. I never should have been in it. It's like, bitch, this is some of the best acting you ever did. And one of the best overall movies you ever been in. Burt Reynolds was a piece of shit as a human being, for those who don't know. He was a wife beater. He was very not a nice person. Not a lot of people have a lot of nice shit to say about him. But when I was a kid, and you talk about movie stars, it was fucking Burt Reynolds.
He was the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, he was even bigger. Like nowadays, a lot of people like Clint Eastwood and everything. Burt Reynolds was even bigger than Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was the fucking shit. And when a Burt Reynolds movie came out, I remember fucking crying and throwing a temper tantrum. I think I talked about this on the show before. We went to go see Cannonball Run, me and my dad, and Cannonball Run was sold out. So we had to go see For Your Eyes Only, the James Bond movie. And I love James Bond, but I was throwing a temper tantrum because I wanted to see Burt Reynolds. I wanted to see Cannonball Run, you know. I mean, Burt Reynolds movies were a big deal, and I watched them all. I mean, and there's a lot of shitty ones like Stroker Ace and City Heat. And, oh God, especially when you get in the mid and late 80s, shit like Stick and Heat, they're fucking horrible. But I mean, in the 70s, you know, the original Smokey and the Bandit, Deliverance, Longest Yard, so many great, The End. So many great movies. But yeah, he was a piece of shit though. Let's see, what else do we got?
Let me read the last question, Ian.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys seen the movies Porky's? Will be the last question. Now,
all right.
We'll answer that one later.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna find one and then take a fucking piss again. Blah blah blah. Shit, where are we? Okay. After listening to the David Lee Roth interview, I've come to the realization that Dave is extremely intelligent and way more interesting than Hagar. The last Van Halen episode I heard will be on the band's breakup. Oh, that's from Mark Daly. Oh, Mark Daly, finally you got some fucking sense.
He's a weird dude, that guy.
Hey, Mark, I love you. I bust your balls, but it's with a wink, you know. No, hey, I love that you love what we do. I love that you love what Ralph does. I bust your balls because you have fag taste, but no, you're a good dude, and everything we do is it's all in fun, dude. It's all in fun,
Yeah, Mark is.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark with a K is a good.
Yeah. The real joke is on your wife who thinks you're into women, you know. But I'm gonna take a piss. You talk about Mark.
Well, let me go back to the questions. I'll answer the next question. Krusty Pioneer says, didn't know you guys were streaming, was random watching old vids, then I see this. Right on, Krusty. We've been doing these live streams for a while. So there's several of them already up. So hopefully we'll be back next week. I think Ian's going to be free. And so we will be back next week. Future Squash, have you heard the unreleased Priest song, All Fired Up? Isn't that like one of the bonus tracks on one of those albums that's very forgettable? I'm pretty sure I have heard that. I picked up, this is Hanoi Bomb. I picked up the Criterion release of After Hours WAD. Haven't watched it yet. Cool packaging. I guess we'll wait for Ian because I don't know what that is. Kyron says, what are your guys' thoughts on the Rob Zombie movies? I really enjoyed Devil's Reject and the first Halloween. The second Halloween was terrible. And the first Halloween was not as good as John Carpenter's. But for Rob Zombie, I think those are the only two good movies he did. All right.
All right. What's going on? What'd I miss?
Where's that question? It was for you.
Uh-oh.
Hanoi Bomb said, I picked up the Criterion release of After Hours WAD. Haven't watched it yet. Cool packaging.
Oh, I want to get that. I'm waiting for the Criterion sale. Criterion does that sale twice a year. So in November, I'll pick that up when it's $25. But After Hours, great Martin Scorsese film, very underrated, fun comedy. And I want to give a shout out to my wife Holly, who I just went and take a piss, and she's watching the show. She woke up from her nap, and she has sex with me in spite of the fact that I do a podcast. So that's awesome.
All right. You want to take over, Ian?
All right.
Next
Okay,
one.
so after Scribble, yeah. I grew up a bit in the Pacific Northwest, Southern Oregon, Alabama of the Northwest. Ian, what do you love about it so far, and what do you hate? I love the weather, but they need Mexicans for Mexican food. I think it's gorgeous up here. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The winters, this past winter up here was a little hard to get used to. It's nothing compared to the winters I grew up with in Illinois. But after living in Florida and Louisiana for the last 25 years, it was cold to me. Where I live is nice, quiet neighborhood. I live in this like white trash subdivision, but there's no garbage, no bullshit. Nobody's fucked with it. But I miss being in a major city. I miss when I want to go to a concert, I don't have to drive an hour. I like jumping in an Uber and I'm there in 10 minutes. I like being able to go to a record store. I like going to, movie theaters that show like fucking John Carpenter movies and not Michael Bay movies. But I mean, there's shit around me that's nice. But most of all, I love being up here by my son and my grandchildren. And I tell you what, I love the pay in the North a lot better than the South. Holy fucking shit, is it night and day. So yeah, I dig it up here. I love the air. Man, I walk out and the air fucking smells good. Well, I mean, there's some fires going on now in Spokane, but I dig it. Very happy up here in the Pacific Northwest. All right. Kyron says, what are your guys' thoughts on the Rob Zombie movies?
I answered that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I like more than I hate. House of a Thousand Corpses is one I was kind of like at first, and I like a lot more now. Love Devil's Rejects. I loved his Halloween, the first one. The second Halloween, I did not like it first, and I love it a lot more now. What's the one, the witch one? Fuck. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, the witch one. Lords of Salem. When I was done watching it the first time, I was like, is this the best or the worst movie I've ever seen? And I was leaning towards the worst. Now I love that movie. It's probably my favorite Rob Zombie movie. I just think aesthetically it's fucking beautiful. One of my favorite ones that nobody talks about is a cartoon that he did called El Bisto or some shit like that. It's fucking hilarious. Great movie. 31 was fucking terrible. The third was that 3 from Hell, horrible. Munsters, I've watched half of it and I'm like, I think he has an incredible visual sense, but his dialogue is irrehensible. I mean, it's just like nobody talks like that. And that's why, I mean, cussing doesn't bother me as long as it sounds like real people cussing. Sometimes, like, you ever heard a kid cuss just a cuss and they're saying shit that doesn't even make sense or sound real? Sometimes his dialogue's like that. Like, I get that in his first Halloween movie. It's like, who talks like that? It just kind of takes you out of the movie, but I love his visual sense. But I will go on fact that White Zombie wipes the floor with his solo albums. White Zombie kicks ass all the way. And,
Devil's Reject in the first Halloween movie was the ones I liked.
Nice. All right. Speak Your Clout. Mike Sears says, do y'all prefer the OG track list of Alice in Chains Dirt, where Down in a Hole is track number 12, or the reissue where it's 4? I prefer the OG.
I didn't even know about the newer version. I prefer Down the Hole at the end.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know they changed it. Yeah, go with the original.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
What a great fucking album. What a great
Amazing.
fucking album.
Amazing.
And what was so good is I remember we did a review, we did an episode on Dirt, and I went and bought I did like an import. I bought a 180 gram vinyl out of Europe, and it sounded so fucking good. Oh my God. Alice in Chains, what a fucking amazing band. And Dirt by far, best thing they've ever done. Not to take away from the other shit, man, because I love everything. I love the new Alice in Chains shit with what's his name, Will something or other.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's a prime example. Like some people think like I just can't adapt to change. Like the whole Van Halen, Van Hagar shit. There's plenty of bands that have changed where, as long as you keep the aesthetic of the band and you keep the integrity of the band, Black Sabbath with Dio, with Ian Gillan, AC/DC, there's all kinds of other bands where as long as the music's good and you don't change the whole sound of the band, I can deal with it,
Read Journey, man. I like the 3 Journey albums, but the next 3 with Steve Perry were my favorite. Infinity, Evolution, and what was the other one? Departure, my favorite.
Yeah. So it's not that I'm adverse to fucking change, and not to say shit can't happen, but you got to keep the integrity of the band. Alice in Chains, love that shit. Hannah Montana says, "Hey Ralph, when you saw Ted Nugent recently, did he have an opening act at your show? My show had a band called Hillbilly Vegas opening, and they were great. I bought one of their CDs."
There was an opening act, though I did not see it because that day, me and my brother took my parents to the casino, and we had dinner together, and my niece was there, and nephew and her boyfriend, and we knew there was an opening act. My friend Danny was already inside the venue, and we were having dinner when the opening act was on, and then we walked in before Ted came out. So there was an opening act, but I didn't see it.
Right. Vincent Longo wants to know, Feldman or Haim? I'm Haim all the way.
I don't care. That's already after 84.
Yeah, Feldman. But I did go see Corey Feldman live, and I highly implore any of you with a sense of humor to go see Corey Feldman live. It was so funny. I saw him at a club in New Orleans. That's usually a metal club. It's where I'd go see fucking Crowbar, and I saw Overkill there, and all kinds of fucking Behemoth and shit like that. But half the people walked out during the second song. It was so shitty. I think I made it through about 5 songs before I said, fuck it, let's go to the French Quarter and get drunk. He's a piece of shit. And I think he deserved to get raped. Most kids don't deserve to get raped. But Corey Feldman just has that face like, fuck me. So fuck him. Corey Haim all the way.
Did you hear what Ralph said? Ralph said that Corey should have got raped.
Yeah, it's because you don't wink. I think there's multi layers to that. I think you being Cuban's a big thing, and you don't wink.
Yeah,
but
I know that guy's really racist.
Yeah. But because I'm white trash and I wink, I get away with it. What Led Zeppelin song that you guys want to hear Black Sabbath cover? I would love to hear Black Sabbath cover How Many More Times with Ozzy.
Heartbreaker for me.
That's a good one.
Or Bring It On Home too would be cool.
Okay, Krusty Pioneer says, I've always been listening, just not on social media so much. Understand it. Thank you for listening, Krusty.
Thank you, Krusty.
Scribble says, just watch a great flick called How to Commit Marriage with Jackie Gleason and Bob Hope. Surprisingly hilarious. Lots of hippie bashing. God damn, how can you go wrong? I mean, I've never heard of this movie, but how can you go wrong with Jackie Gleason and Bob Hope?
And hippie bashing.
Yeah, fucking hippies.
I hate
it. Okay. Ralph says this is the last one. Let's see. Have you guys seen the movie Porky's? The funny thing is Porky's was almost going to be my backdrop today. Before I went with Mo Green, I was going to try to find one where my head would be, where the hole would be, where the dick came through in Porky's. I saw Porky's when it came out in the theaters in 1982, I believe, at the Paramount Theater in Kankakee, Illinois. One of the best 80s comedies ever. I just love Porky's. I remember being so disappointed when I saw Porky's 2 the next day, and then Porky's 3, Porky's Revenge, but I still went and saw them all based on the strength of the original Porky's. And I don't know, was Porky's like especially more special to you, Ralph, being, that it's a film about kids in South Florida? Was that a thing?
Here's the thing, Ian. That school is smack next to my dad's hardware store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that school's still there. And I remember vividly when they filmed it, that when they were filming Porky's. And yeah, it was a big deal down here because when they released it, we all went to the theater. And my mom laughed her ass off in the Dixie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Awesome. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff filmed in front of my Don Johnson's Heartbeat music videos.
Yeah.
He was in front of my dad's hardware at one scene. The Specialist with Sylvester Stallone, and wait, was it The Specialist? It was Sylvester Stallone, Roberts, James Woods, Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I was just talking about your dad's hardware store to my son last night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. No, I was talking about your parents. And because I was talking about piece of shit racists and people hating immigrants, and I told him the whole story about your parents coming over here, and I was telling him how your parents came over here legally, did it the right way, and I go, they are the epitome of the American dream, because how your dad came over, worked hard, then bought the hardware store, then the hotel and stuff like that, and that your dad's still a hardworking son of a bitch who doesn't sit on his ass and is always busy doing something. Yeah. It's funny how that shit comes up, but yeah, I was telling him how much I love your fucking parents.
Yeah, my parents are the shit, man. They love this country like you wouldn't believe, man. They still love it, even today. They still love it. Because they know what it's like.
They hate this podcast, but they love this country.
Yeah. They you know what it's like to be in Cuba, man. If you knew what it's like to be in Cuba, you'd love this country too.
Yeah. But basically that's what I was telling them about, like how people get down on fucking immigrants, and I'm like, well, that's how we all got over here, and the American dream. And I told them your parents were the perfect example of the American dream, and coming over here and bettering themselves and making a better future, a better life for you and your brothers and stuff. And so what a nice way to end this episode.
Yeah, man. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. And I want to thank everybody that's going to watch this after we're done with it, because we got a lot of views afterwards. According to Ian, next week we'll be back.
Yes, next week I am going to try to set it up. Tomorrow I'm going to get with I'm going to get in contact with Aaron Camaro, and we are going to do a fan paid episode for a thrash band that most of you have never heard of out of Illinois, and we're doing it for a very special listener with a very special disability. So it's going to be a very special episode, And also, as Chris Sinzak was here earlier, we're going to plan soon where we do a crossover episode with Decibel Geek, where Friday night we're going to be on their show, and then Sunday night they're going to be on our show, because not only are they the only podcast that comes close to us, they're our best friends in the podcasting world. So looking forward to that. So a lot of things on my end that have come up lately are no longer an issue. So you're going to see more Rock and Metal Combat podcasts coming soon. And just a lot of entertainment for you motherfuckers.
That's right. We are the GOAT. We are the podcast kings.
It's true. It really is.
We actually were voted. It had nothing to do with us. It was our listeners.
Yeah.
It's the podcast kings.
Yeah. Our bots beat the other team's bots.
Yeah.
We won.
Zack Attack. Remember that idiot? Oh,
Ralph. We are America's podcast. Don't let any other podcast fool you.
Ralph said that. Did you hear what Ralph just said? Ralph thinks this is the America's podcast. Oh, by Ian.
Yeah.
We were called posers for saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By a poser.
Oh, hold on. Let me strike a pose.
Yeah. Here, I'll strike one too. All right, everybody. So thank you for tuning in. And we'll be back next week, and we'll be back just kicking ass. And Ian too has got to talk about the Patreon.
Yes.
So bye.
Yeah, Patreon, I'm working on it. See you soon.
Bye, Ian. This is gonna cut us off. And bye.